in Bogota.
Okay.
But I have a photo of me as a baby between the legs of this German Shepherd. It was a dog of my parents at that time. So yeah.
I hope you're smiling.
Well, like my other baby photo, you've seen it, right?
So is this cat that you just posted still alive?
Yeah, no, I'm looking at it and I'm actually considering buying it. I mean, she's
cute.
Yeah,
So cute.
I mean, fluffy and
Oh yeah. Look, I don't like cats, but I'll look at that one. And I could have that cat in my house. Yeah.
I mean, the first picture there it's like a Colombian eBay channel. I mean, this first picture, I mean, it's just like bro. It's just like bro. No, I don't use cocaine.
No, I'm saying eBay, Colombian eBay, plenty of use cocaine.
No, you can get cocaine here if you want it, but I don't like it.
I think I've got the scariest hangout going at the moment on fucking YouTube. Look how weird that picture is. That's out my window.
I don't know where we are. Oh,
well,
where are we?
And it's live, by the way. I put
are you doing
it in.
another hangout, Del?
He's doing a replay of his front yard.
No, this is literally live now. I just have the camera out the window.
Let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look.
And it looks spooky.
Still snowing. Two watching.
Yeah.
But the point about reincarnation and cats is the only reason I'm starting.
I don't see anything.
Is because I think these cats have been in this life, whereas really they have no chance of advancing any further. In other words, if they don't get it right this time, they ain't going to make it back as a human being. So it's a kind of a Mexican standoff, if you like, between me and these two cats. Well, Smelly, being the smarter but the dumbest of the two cats, has backed up a little bit now. He knows his immortal soul is in danger because I ain't backing up of this one. Whereas Stinky is still locked in and his eyes are bleeding.
Oh, yeah.
Bleeding.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I mean, this is so great. This social cohesion or the lack of it between cats. I mean, that's why I took Pro, because she was completely bullied. I mean, literally.
Hold on, you're talking at once. You're talking at once. Everyone's.
I mean, Pro, she was bullied by the other cats of my parents. They always had one dog and 4 cats. So she was literally up the cupboard. I mean, she was bullied.
The underdog.
Exactly. And actually, I've seen her being born. I've seen her mother bearing or getting born, I would say. Her. Yeah, her. I mean, I've seen it live. You know? But she was bullied, and then when I left home, I said, I want to take her. And we go together. And we lived together for 13 years. So, yeah. And she made it to 17, so. It's good.
Yeah, good old pussycats. Yeah, all right. Yeah, but I'm not a softy when it comes to these fucking creatures from beyond the veil.
But Typo, I must say, I mean, you are more like me, and Rollo and Del are more like because they don't like cats and they like dogs, and I am more into cats than dogs.
Well,
yeah. I've looked at animals from both sides now, and I know what they're all about.
Okay, from the front window.
You gotta keep feeding them, otherwise. But the thing is even
you're gonna go out there again, Del, and do
never fuck off.
Make us a snow angel.
I mean, cats are so much more intelligent than dogs. Come on. I mean, they are so much more cunning. Cunning, that's the way. That's the word.
Because they got 9 lives and dogs don't even.
Yeah.
That's why I like dogs. I don't like cunning people. I like nice, honest, open people.
I like mysterious people.
Oh,
nice.
Mysterious! Like our man Dave Cullen. I put his video in, and you just said green screen straight away.
I've heard that.
Green screen.
Well, that's like a hydrangea plant that has snow on the few balls of flowers.
I don't see any
and they're falling down. You know what I mean?
I see only a light and some snow.
And that's a light outside.
Yeah,
You
flip
know,
it around
And,
a bit.
and then when I put it on the play, I
see
hear
when-
Typo speaking.
You see when it goes windy, you see them all
Yeah, I can see it
moving
now. It's
around.
windy now.
It's really
I'm
weird.
only in it for the Sasquatch watch, and I've been watching for 48 hours, and we ain't fucking seen anything.
Yeah, man, I'll put my Russian hat on and go outside again and go boom.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it.
You're not
I
going to
dare
kid
you
me
to.
you're a Sasquatch in a Russian hat. I'll just go, that's fucking dead in a
Do it,
Russian hat.
Alpha.
Trying to
Alpha.
get,
You can do it,
I
man.
won't, I'm
trying
not
to get
doing it
the
now. It's
Sasquatch
Do it.
It's too much like hard work at the moment now. I'm too comfortable.
No, get out there and make
Yeah.
sure you go behind the plant this
Retarded.
time.
Yeah.
And Sasquatch it along.
I know this.
Hey, guys, I got
Yeah.
go from here. So if you're still here in 10 minutes, then I'll
Yeah, yeah.
talk again, okay?
Yeah, work
Yeah,
away.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I've got plenty of beers here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, man.
Karaoke when you get back. We're doing it in Spanish.
Forever young.
Spanish
I want to
karaoke.
be forever young.
No, that's Stress. What's the word for
Hey,
weird?
Typo, did you hear me chat with Ab the other day? Did you
I
have a listen to
certainly
my chat? Yeah, what do you think?
Certainly did, and I didn't hear one single mention of the snow.
No, I don't think I did.
That was a
I
bit
mean,
messy,
we
yeah.
mentioned Mexico. We
No,
mentioned the YouTube. What's
you
it
reckon
called?
he's
The
gone
YouTube
native?
purge.
Do you reckon he's gone native, Ab?
Well,
He's
he
gonna-
must have
he's gonna
got,
become the
he's
only
gone
living
down to
Mexican.
Mexico for a reason with his family to get away from the snow. So I would imagine that's what he.
So when he gets
You
back, he's gonna
already,
be the-
you know, like Ab has relations. He's already stated this before in the blog, in fakeologist.com. You know, he had relations down there already because he was talking about a psyop that went on down there where, you know, allegedly someone was robbed and killed and all that. And he, you know, because he knew the area, you see. So
You think he's gone
it
native,
wasn't any
though?
big
That is
surprise
not bad.
when Ab went on. It was more of a surprise that, you know, that he was gone on holidays, you know. But it wasn't a surprise where he
What, to
went.
me, I don't even know the kid. Why would it be a surprise to me if a man goes on holiday? What would be surprising to me if he goes to Mexico, returns to his native country, and starts behaving like a fucking Mexican? You know, that's what I mean by, do you think he's gone native? Do you think spending time down there,
We don't need no stinking badges.
down there, nothing, man?
How far would that get you?
For a fellow American.
How far would that get you at fucking Mexico at customs in the airport? And you're going through, you just go, I don't need no stinking badges. You reckon they'll let you in?
I don't need a fucking aeroplane, do I? So
They just say,
I'll
oh,
sneak over the border. I wouldn't
another-
like to swim or wade through. I wouldn't bother flying there. Would you? I'll fly into America and then.
yeah. Here's
Well,
the
sensible
freak out.
Canadian.
You land in Mexico, and when you get off the airplane, you go into the airport. All the people working in the airport, they all look like fucking what's his name?
American.
No,
Everybody working in Mexican airports are American.
they all look like Yul
American
Brenner.
airports are Mexican.
They're all Yul Brenners, right? And they're all dressed like Yul Brenner, the cowboy from the original movie.
I can't think of a single film I liked him in.
I know, man. And some of them, like, he
yeah,
doesn't
me
even
too.
have a face. He just has a mechanical
I
face
didn't
inside
even feel
his,
sorry
or a
for him.
mechanical head. And you're looking around and you just go, fuck. All right,
He's
I'll ask
probably
this.
the only person, if I'd have known been more familiar with his career, I
Go.
wish died of cancer.
I'll ask this, you fucking version. Where's
Right.
the smoking section? And they go,
Well, it's a shame that Gilbert is dead. The only thing that
Who
made
knows?
him stand out from the crowd was a stupid name and a bald head.
there you go.
Otherwise, nobody had ever fucking heard of it.
Yeah.
You reckon he was a sodomite, Hollywood sodomite? I've
I
heard that
don't
he
know.
used to take it up
Oh
the
man,
shit.
do you see some weird thing flying around out there?
Not my, I live here. I don't live in Hollywood. I'm just
We're
saying,
doing,
do you believe any of the rumours that Yul Brennan was a dirty?
That's
He
not.
used to fuck dead bodies and stuff.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Well, it's a big Hollywood thing, I heard, especially when he was around. And he used to turn up, you know, they used to get a couple of dead bodies, fuck 'em, and that's how he got the job. You never hear of that, no?
That's necrophiliac
Yeah,
weirdos.
It was long, you know, there's a lot of people doing it. However, Roger Corman had nothing like real Brit, but he was amongst that. But he used to turn up as a young, before he was ever in a film, I heard. And he used to turn up and he'd be like, the party piece would come and fuck these dead bodies and to win favours and, you know, what. And then they give him pour his hair, fella. Which works in his favour, if you think of it. But that was my granddad probably making shit. Although he did know a kid at he knew a bloke that worked.
That's typo error on a stream of consciousness.
No, it's true. I mean, I wouldn't say it unless I'd fucking heard it, would I? I didn't read it. Gossip. But I knew somebody who works at Pinewood and Elstree in the fourth, just after the war, or just before and after, right? However it was. But the long and the short of it was, after it was, and they all changed, and he went from, I didn't like being at Elstree, he wanted to go there, and he went from Bakerfield to somewhere else. And I think he was a carpenter, you know, he was just a carpenter, something like that, just do a bit of painting, nothing about it. And but he used to hear stuff because they're all gossips, aren't they? Especially, and Yul Brennan was over for a command performance or something, recreating his role in the film on the stage in the performance.
Mm-hmm.
So that will tell you when it was. And he's an old boy boss, and he'd be one of them. Oh, you know how he got the job done. And once again, you know, I wasn't of an age, or I wasn't even interested enough to ask him, oh, go on, give us some more details. You know, just one of those stories that you heard. But the story was, he was a terrible, horrible fucking sodomite. Fuck dead bodies. Look at me, look at me, look at me, and got the job, and they gave him it. But he turned out to be Yul Brennan, and some people liked him, and some people didn't like him. But it's how he got there. You never hear the story. Well, he used to tell me, but he never told me. He used to tell me Uncle Polly. Right up until Bondi, about 73. And yeah, he used to know all the tales. But what would he know? You know. But they were always in those circles. So he'd heard of something, told like Danny, you know, stories about Danny. I mean, he used to think it was fucking. Yeah, Yul Brennan, I heard that before he ever got a job or a screen test or even sort of, he used to turn up wanting to do it and then go, oh, fuck it. I'll do anything. So we'll go and fuck that dead body.
Sorry about that, guys. Can you hear me?
What he used to do.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You dropped.
Yeah, look, my internet just fucked out the second I started speaking about Ab and with the chat we had the other day about what was it about again?
Very good
yeah, the YouTube purge.
Well,
oh
well, if you're going to use that platform, as Ab says, you have to play by their rules.
He never got the hits though, did he? So
no, there's a dude called Jared Taylor. He's actually suing YouTube.
Eh?
He's actually suing YouTube and Twitter because there's a precedent where, you know, someone owned.
You're not allowed in your living room without being invited.
No, some couple of fucking people were giving out pamphlets in some fucking shopping mall in America somewhere, and the guy who owned it banned them, and they said, you know, they brought it to court apparently, and the judge said, well, you created a public forum here, and you've got to ensure free speech for everybody. Simple as that. And so this Jared Taylor dude, right? He's got a strange backstory.
One case, so you got to let people hand out shit, and then all that ever happens is that you hand out your own shit up forever.
The point is,
go, this is a platform with free speech.
The point is that this guy is bringing them to court, right? Is fucking. It's, you know, he's
sometimes I don't know who people think they're kidding, whether they're kidding themselves or the people they're listening to.
So we'll see what happens,
including the church, not the church, the courts. You know, who are they kidding? We're going to make a rule so that everybody will think it's a proper rule, and then we can like. I'm like. Free speech is enshrined in the American Constitution.
Yes.
We don't have that pleasure.
Just turn the audio up a little bit on the that's going out to your snowstorm there, and your.
I'm actually inside, man. I'm not outside. That's the camera.
No. I'm just saying out the window. The audio that's coming that we're talking is going out on your snowstorm.
What's that, man?
Yeah,
and, on your still snowing YouTube.
Oh man,
yeah. If you turn that up a tiny bit, it's just a little low.
No, it's grand, man. It's
all
grand.
Right.
You turn it up on your end. Why would you want to do that?
Well, I'm talking to you here.
Yeah, well, you can mute.
If I
mute yourself before you start turning up the fucking actual YouTube video.
There's a 10-second delay. There's a 10-second delay when we're talking here.
Yeah, and it'll still come out to you. It'll still come out 10 seconds later, you know. That's why it's called a 10-second delay.
I think he does it deliberately in case anybody says there's a Sasquatch in his front yard.
Yeah, I'll dress up like a Sasquatch and jump around the garden.
If we watch it while he's talking audio, we can go text him. There's a Sasquatch in the front yard, and then he can go and bag it.
The front door is completely snowed in.
Carry on like nothing happened.
It's out the front yard.
Sasquatch, you only got fuck off. What?
That's
the front yard that we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who's we?
I'm so glad. Hey, Del,
you and Rollo.
We got such lovely weather when we were there.
Yeah, the one where the wind is blowing in and Rollo's turning into an ice cube.
Who sang that? That was an Australian band, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was everywhere you go, you always take your weather with you. It's called not Split Ends.
Could be
the other band after that.
It's
Crowded House, man.
Crowded
House.
Weren't a bad tune.
Yeah.
Weren't a bad tune if you didn't listen to it at the time. Because if you heard it at the time, it'd drive you fucking mad because it's all you fucking hear, wouldn't it? And it'd be one of those defining records you got. But I never heard it till fucking years later. Oh, that's a good tune. This is old one. This is an old one. So, like, 5 years later, I was out of date, wasn't I? But I hadn't heard it ever before because I don't listen to it.
They're actually a New Zealand band.
I was going to say they could be Kiwis, couldn't they? Crowded House. What's the one they do?
Crowded House.
They do another one as well. Ain't a bad song. And it's called... Oh, I can't remember. But I only had 3 hits. Name one of them. And it'll be that one. If it ain't Take the Weather With You.
No, they had way more than 3.
I know that. Yeah, I know. But you had to buy albums and shit. One that
they're so fucking good. They're totally memorable, aren't they?
I remember the 2 brothers' names. I saw one of the Is he? Oh, my head's gone. Shut to pieces.
Right, I'm going to put on.
What are
I'm
you
going to
doing?
put on
Anyway,
some.
he
Typo.
did a solo at running.
Typo.
I'm going to put on my
Typo.
boots and I'm going to go outside. So,
Typo!
Oh, you're gonna do
Typo!
it. Hey!
right,
Now
so
God's going out.
Typo! You made a eureka moment for myself.
I
Thank
might,
you.
I might be sometime.
I want a cat. That is now sure.
I
I
might be
want a cat.
sometime.
Wow.
Eureka moments every hour. Stay tuned.
No, thank you for
Adele?
your, thank you, Typo. We have had our differences, but thank you for that.
Hey,
Obrigado.
Del Quiet, are you definitely going outside? You're definitely going to do it?
Fucking pretend to be a Sasquatch.
Yeah,
You're not kidding
You're gonna do it.
anybody. Fucking
Alright.
I've got the camera angle right now, and I'll know
Yeah,
when I go
I'll
outside.
take a screen capture when I see you. Make sure you go behind the plants.
I
Behind
will.
the
I'll
plants.
go into the middle of the garden. The camera's pointing pretty much at the middle now,
I'll
So
screen
where's
capture.
the
and I can
relation-
use that
so
light.
where's the
That look,
trousers in this relation?
yeah,
Gaia?
that light that looks like the sun is literally.
No,
fucking
I'm not
street lamp.
looking for I really, tomorrow.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey,
well,
Del
really,
Quiet,
really,
when you
I
go out
want
there,
it.
Del
It's
Quiet,
Yeah, I'll
when
be
you go
back.
out there, do a Tom Dalper flip.
Handstand.
I
into the
maybe
snow.
sometime I'll
That'll be
throw some
another 20 grand,
snowballs.
that one.
No, I'm looking for. I mean, I want to pay for a cat. I mean, stray cat. It's nice.
It's only Naturals, the song that I was thinking of. Crazy days.
It's only natural. Yeah, it's a good
You
song.
ain't got
too.
much of a voice, have you? You can't hold a tune, but yeah, that's
It's
all.
a nice day
see,
for
I
a
see-
white
I see-
wedding.
It's
It's
better.
a nice
I
day
see
to
Rosie here.
start
Rosie.
again.
I mean, I look at Facebook. I found Facebook, and there's a Rosie here. When I looked for cats, like
Free cats.
asylum cats, then I find Rosie. It's the same dog.
No.
Yeah, they all look the same. They all look the same, guy. That's true. They all very, very much alike.
Cats
very
are
much.
disguising themselves like dogs now.
Yeah, but I'm not into dogs. You know me. So I'm into cats. So this is Rosie.
Hi, Rosie. Can't see shit.
But these kittens are really.
That doesn't look anything like Rosie.
No, these kittens are. lovely.
They all
Rosie's,
have souls.
Rosie's a special breed, guy. What's that? What's
Oh,
that
I'm
nut that you put up there?
sorry, Dr. Rollo. I'm sorry.
That's all right. There's no need to be sorry.
See, if all animals have different personalities, was any animal like anybody would kind of say yeah, except for cows. But you know, even farmers can tell the difference in their beasts. You know, I look at a cow and I go, "There's a cow. There's another fucking cow. And there's a cow."
All you see is a steak, isn't it? All you see is a steak.
I see cows.
Yum.
Useless.
Yeah,
old-
New York
What did you say?
useless old-
Vegan kind of guy. What did you say? Vegetarian. What?
I'm vegetarian.
He's always got an agenda to push, right? And but the point is all I'm saying. You look at, and you don't have to look at them closely enough. You don't even need a scientific method. But you would agree that they have separate personalities in a sense,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay,
exactly.
well-
Yeah.
That's a word. Semantically, that's the word, right? Personality is a way, right? But I would also suggest that if we forget the word personality, they're also inhabited by separate souls. Yeah, he's got a different soul to him. They're cats, but they got different souls. Smelly ain't stinky. And even when they're being cats together.
Oh, guy, that cat looks exactly like you. That's you made up. That's you.
I tell you what, that is a true. You know, when you forgot about, your psychopath test. True psychopaths dress their cats up to look like themselves, Where are we?
Yes.
I'm still checking. Dell can't be far away.
You have
Going out to the
a
front yard.
huge echo there, Roland.
Is there an echo?
I've
Is there?
not got one. No, I've not had one all night.
No, it's fine.
We got the endless looping of the chopping of South American vegetables.
I'm just keeping a big
I mean,
eye on the still snowing
let me
video.
share a picture of how they actually keep cats here. It's pretty sad, I would say.
Chopping while it
I mean, this is how they keep it, right? I mean, it's really sad.
Catty poo. Cat chat. Oh, look at those.
But this is just a site I found here. Here you have Rodo rolling up to John the Bomb. Going here quite happily.
I could handle that many. 2 cats I can't handle.
Oh, is that me? Is it? That's Rolo. John LeBon's going to give me a scratch on the tummy. Oh, isn't that nice?
I keep getting the same picture.
No, really. Tomorrow I will go for a cat. Yeah, I mean, thanks, Typo. I mean, you made my eureka moment. I mean, I love cats, and my wife hates cats, and now I'm living alone, so I can do it. Yeah.
What did I say? I eat the fat and she eats the lean. Who's that showing there? Vulva.
Vulva.
Cat showing
the pussy, yeah.
Fuck, you know. Is that dog's cunt, is it? Never seen
Oh,
that.
good Lord. We're going out live. We're going out live. We should keep it clean.
Who's live? We are.
Yeah, this audio is going out on Dell's Still Snowing.
I can tell.
Guys.
I didn't know. I mean,
listen.
Dell never informed us that he was going to put it live.
I can always tell when you're going live.
I mean, at least in fake villages, let's go into the live stream, then we know it's live. But
right, well,
it's
listen.
now secret.
Listen, guys, it's not a secret. I tried to open the door. I can't get out my front door to get into the garden at the moment. No, not at the moment.
I've heard some fucking excuses.
No, it's not some fucking excuse. I'm not joking.
Go to the kitchen. Boil the kettle.
I can do all that shit. I'm not going to go through all that trouble just to fucking jump around the fucking garden, right? I can sort out that tomorrow when I have to do it, but I'm not doing it now at this hour of the morning. But yeah, literally, I tried opening it. It opens about an inch, and I'm not joking.
You better not be joking.
I'm not joking, right?
I've been sitting here staring for 5 minutes, waiting for you to walk out there.
Yeah, well, hang on. I can just
screen capture.
Go and actually manipulate the camera. Open the window, maybe. Because I'm not joking. I'll show you what I'm doing.
And he's somewhat of an internet role model. Can't even get out the fucking front door.
No, I'm not at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning.
I'm going to drag the cats round on me fucking toboggan. I'm going to
I will post a new Pril because she will be called Pril again. Once I get her. I don't want to buy, but there's lots of cats to buy here. But I just want a silent cat.
You see outside my door.
Right? Well, this is a nice.
There he goes. There he goes. He's moving it.
Show you outside the door, right?
Oh, can't see shit now. Oh, here he goes.
That's the scenario. Right?
I would like a kitten, like a smoker.
A couple of weeks. Well, no, hold on. About 3 months.
Oh, look at that snow there.
Are
you guys looking at? Are you guys looking at the video?
No, sorry, I'm looking at cats. Sorry.
I don't know where we are.
Have a look at Dell's video now. He's actually going out into the snow.
No,
there's the double.
What the fuck? 1.8 million for a cat? What the fuck?
Look at that.
Are you fucking crazy?
Does he fly?
Oh.
Yeah, 1.8 million. That's €600 for a cat. What the fuck? Are you crazy?
I've been thinking of ways so that because I have to buy their food. I don't
I mean, food. I mean, fine.
Oh, yeah, well, I ain't got
I mean,
a lot of dough.
I mean, like you said today, Typo. I mean, you feed the birds who are coming in fucking tiger bread and what was the other stuff? I mean, yeah, well, it shows you care. It shows you care.
Yeah, I do.
That's very Pink Floydy.
It's only because the blackbirds came and sat on the tree and like looked into the window, you know, because they do know they get, and they just sat there.
Hey, hello, Del. Hello.
To get
Hello. How you doing, bud?
How's it going, man?
I saw this morning.
Yeah, look at you. Oh, you're so handsome.
Bogota, I don't know when to get what is what 28 fucking million? What the fuck?
That's what's outside, man.
That's like that's more than half of my car for a cat. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, you know how expensive cigarettes are here.
That's 7,000 euros.
It's a BMW cat.
Australian dollars. I mean, what the fuck?
There
Are
we
you
go.
crazy?
Back out the window.
Got twin Webbers on it.
Sorry, we're in your.
Everybody
What the fuck?
could be a
28 million.
Leave it there,
faces.
Del. Leave it there.
cat.
To the right. Yeah, that's cool.
That's
cool. There
Oh,
we
no,
go.
no,
Set it
no.
down.
Oh, this is nice.
Thomas O'Malley. That's your service, Majesty.
What the fuck are you
Godless
World's
pasta
worst
and a
cameraman. Come
mustard.
on, get it up.
I like bird. Hey, Typo, what kind of cats do you have?
So, what kind of what?
Yeah, what kind of cats?
Other people's cats. They're not my cats.
Yeah, you know,
I don't know what
but
they are. They're cool.
I mean-
They're like, I call them gypsies cats. They're the kind of cat that a gypsy would fight you for to steal them off you. You know that one.
Okay, okay, fine.
Up.
Anyway, they're cool as
God,
cats.
Del's wasted. Del's wasted. Come on.
And they,
We're all
There
wasted
we
here,
go.
except for you, Rollo, because it's your
No.
afternoon.
Look,
I mean,
Del, you got to tell Del he's got to set the camera up a little higher. Or we can't
think
see shit
the
there with that.
Stony Award for
yeah, sorry, I am into cat mode now. So.
I know, but have a look at the video footage. Help Del out.
Yeah.
Help Del.
What? 1 peso? See, by Cauca.
Classic.
No,
beauties.
it's not there.
They're both boys, right? But they had their bollocks cut off because you could imagine they're little tigers. So if they had them had their bollocks cut off, there's no way on earth you could prove it. You know,
It's
it
Del
wouldn't have
going with his
existed.
camera work. What's going on? Oh, look, Del's fell.
I'm hanging out the
over and he's
window,
looking
man.
up.
I'm hanging out the
I don't
window.
know what you're looking at. I don't know what you.
There we go.
Getting fucking cold outside, man. There we are. We're back to the hydrangeas.
There we go. Left a bit. My left.
I'm sitting back now. It's staying where it is.
All I can tell you,
It's a right-wing picture.
There it is. Leave it there. Leave it there.
Why don't you go and pick on a fucking Norwegian road?
You go on anyone.
You've had a British
Daniel, Norwegian.
Is nobody concerned that my garden is full of those fucking
We've
pods?
had a
You
little
know?
bit of snow and
Oh yeah, the what is it? The invasion of the body.
Yeah. There's loads of body snatchers outside my fucking window, and you guys are just complaining about the snow. Look at the wind.
Snowman. You know,
They're actually blowing in the wind as I'm talking.
Live on right.
That's
Hey,
really
hey, well
weird.
done. Hey, Delquart, well done on the live show there. That was really good.
Well,
That's really good.
Yes, Delquart
Yeah.
could not
We got
escape
Christmas.
out of his
I
house.
very much appreciate. Oh, he's fucked up now.
No, I'm still here.
Is this his new approach to getting the best out of people.
It's surrealist
Oh,
fucking art, man. That's what that
Only
is.
your head.
It's don't create it, just capture it, you know.
Look,
When there's the invasion of the potty
potty
snatchers,
you've done nothing. You haven't. All you've
No,
done is run around in it.
there's loads of
Take
pods
photographs.
outside my
Nah.
window right now, nodding their heads, looking to fucking eat me and turn
Look,
me
the
into.
only way you are going to truly understand your museum is if you go out and spend all night in it. And you know what'll happen? It'll thaw a gun in the morning, and then it'll disappear through your fingertips. While it's there.
And I look like Jack Nicholson at the end of The Shining.
You're a name dropper, you are. How is Jack? Oh no! I tell you what. Anyway,
I heard your story and thought of Jack. How about that? Name dropping.
You know what? I ain't a name dropper. I don't send begging letters. But I got a feeling I could go and stop at Jack's house. It'll be his birthday is April-ish. Why do I remember that? Because it's Jack's birthday. Amsterdam.
Well, because you're a name dropper and a birthday dropper.
Never in your life. But I knew somebody used to like score his dope for him for years. And, you know, it was part of the retinue. And he never used to, you know, dine out on it. But he now considers himself a personal friend of Jack Nicholson's. Right, what that means, I don't know. Right, but I know him, so in theory, I know Jack Nicholson. And he says, well, I don't want him. And I'm not like that, you know, I don't turn around. I don't turn around to put, you know, I mean, everybody do it here and there and help you out and all that. But I never ever turn around and say, you know, me, my track record, any chance. Because a lot of people, when they're feeling low, what they do is they say, any chance we could do with a couple of, and most, you know, 20 grand there or 10 grand there, I'll get you back to sort and all that. With the full intention of they're not going to do anything, but they're always going to pay it back. Although a lot of people don't consider debt to be part of their thing. But they're always going to do it, but they're not going to do anything with it. Just so in the future, he's all right. He's all right. Borrowed him 20 grand. He did and gave it to him. So it means that he's still kind of in the. I know they're retired, but they'll go and borrow money just so they feel as though they've got something happening, even though they don't use it in the way that they were done in the past. You know, years ago, you used to go, you know, I could do with 3 grand, I could do that, and get it back next week, right? But now they don't need it, but they still do it. They want to have the negotiation. They want to be able to do the things they used to do. I could do with 20 grand because this, that, the other. And I said, what do you ask him for that? We said, well, you know, what's he going to do? He give it, man. What are you going to do with it? He said, well, I'll give it him back. You know, but he wanted to think he was having a deal, be taken seriously as somebody because he can always ask for the money, you know. But I never understood that. But it seems to me that a lot of deals are now based on what will occur in the future, and if only somebody could help. So they all get to, it's like golf, isn't it? You know? No, it ain't like completely just golfers play golf. Talk about shit.
Golfers play golf. There you go.
Well, they don't do business. What they do is they play golf and talk business, don't they?
I don't know. I just remember that I
can't be taken seriously as business. There's a couple of things I like to run past you. Oh, and this is a nice short pass. You know,
I'm just messing around with the actual auto zoom on this fucking camera. So even though it's nearly on the ground, pointing up, can you see what I'm talking about there?
Well, you need better equipment if you're going to stream live.
I'm not. I'm just.
Yeah, it's going out live. Yeah.
It's just random stuff, man. It's nothing got
Well, I know
equipment.
that.
Fuck
It's
you,
not an
man.
operation.
You
Fuck
said it
you,
was art, and I'm
Fuck
saying
you,
it was not art.
fuck you,
Day
MI6.
qua operation of just
I
Hey,
look
think
Doc,
out
it's
my
a very
window.
Doc, Danny's still
conceited
here.
thing to
What is he
that
passed out in a
everything
pool of
that
vomit?
we do
What?
is art.
Where's Danny?
Cat is an artist. It's not. It's a fucking cat, and it's very, very lucky that I don't.
It's coming back through you, Typo.
I will go into the snug.
Yeah, it's too much. This is. It's
No, that's all right. You
ridiculous.
can leave it going out. It's just it's coming back through. It was coming back through Gaia, wasn't it?
No, we can have some cat talk in the snug.
He wants to
What-
go in the
what-
snug. No, I'm quite happy in Typo's corner.
What's
I
wrong?
don't know where the fuck I am. I'm looking at Frank's screen here.
Well, the point we're in Typo's corner, and that's what we're streaming
Yeah, I know,
from. So
but
Typo's,
I think Gaia wants us to go in the snug for some reason. I
wherever
don't
we
know.
are, take me with you. 'Cause I
right,
don't know
well,
where-
we'll go into Snug Den for a minute and see what he has to say. But I hope he realizes it's still going out on the fucking
All right,
stream.
let's go in there then.
I ain't a fuck.
Hey, guys.
What's up, man? Now we're still
Yeah,
going out live. Though.
I thought you were streaming, so come on. Went here. Oh yeah. I just sent a message to a number to get a cat this weekend. So yeah.
1 2 1 2.
Cats forever, not just for the weekend.
No, yeah, you're right.
They're not just for Christmas either.
Something for the weekend, sir. You go, yes. We give you a
Yeah,
fuck.
but I need another pro, really. She was so lovely. Really. Oh, wow. I mean, I know you have Cheech and you have Rosie, Del, and Rollo, but I like cats. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're not cattist around here, man. You know, fucking hell, you know.
There's no cat astrophy. Yeah.
No, if a cat's in need, a cat will get a feed, at the same time. They're not cattist. You know what I mean, for fuck's sake. Anyway.
I know, man. I know. I mean, I grew up with dogs too. So I know it. And I grew up with fucking iguanas. I mean, nobody had iguanas in Holland. My parents did.
There you go.
Literally, I have had 15 different kinds of pets in my life. So, yeah.
Gaia, I know it's probably not a term, but you understand. Are you familiar with the term? There's not enough swing a cat in here.
There's no. Sorry, you broke up. What? Nothing.
There's not enough room to swing a cat in here.
Yeah.
Assuming all it means
To
is
swing a
small
cat.
place. Swing a cat.
Yeah,
Cat
that's basically
Well,
Holland.
in Dutch, there's a saying. There's no cat you cannot handle with gloves on. Something like that in English.
You can't
like the French one.
swing them around in an apartment in Amsterdam anyway.
Don Louis, what is it? During the night, all cats are grey. Forget that. Don Louis. Anyway, I forget cats and I forget all cats are grey. Yeah, anyway, the term, there is not enough room to swing a cat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm in a room that's not very big at all. And if I grabbed a cat, quite a large cat, if I grabbed him full extension by his tail and tried to swing him, his head would bash up with the wall. So it's true.
Yeah, it's definitely swing 'em, man, not string 'em. You said string 'em earlier on.
Swing the cat. It's a whip, isn't it? A cat of nine tails.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, one of the reasons was he needs punishment, but it's one way of saying I ain't gonna whip him.
Yes. There's not enough.
I mean, you cannot punish a cat. She will always punish you back.
I think a good captain of a ship would like say, well, 40 lashes to be carried out in the, you know, downstairs or, you know, whatever downstairs in a boat's called, below decks.
Down dog.
And that would be his way of being a fair captain. He's giving you the punishment, but the geezer who's going to give it you can't actually swing the cat in there, you know. I can't, you know, so it's a good way of punishing somebody. You deserve 40, but it's going to be done downstairs, and then the geezer who's going to do the punishment won't be able to. He's got plausible deniability.
True.
Perfect excuse.
Yeah, well, I don't have a big apartment either. It's good for a cat here. No,
but the point is, if you meant a real cat instead of a naval whip or you know,
a jaguar. A jaguar is a real cat.
If you got a real cat, you've got enough room to swing it. Because, you know, once you start swinging and bashing their heads up, that's... Whoa, I wish I could grab hold of this and throw him around the kitchen.
I have to share this video again.
There's the famous photographs of Dali throwing the cat up in the air. Sorry.
Great. I mean, look at this.
Have you ever heard of that experiment?
Dali threw the cat up in the air. You know, remember? And they took photographs of the cat as it was flying through the air.
There's a famous experiment. I think it's a Canadian experiment of turkey farmers. And what they do is they throw a dead cat into the middle of a turkey group. You know, I mean, turkeys, the fucking most ridiculous animal on the planet, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're like vultures without wings, you know.
All right, yeah, and they're domesticated, so you leave them. Don't know what the fuck. There's nothing, you know. They're like cows. They're rubbish turkeys, honestly. Not
that's what happens here with the vultures. They eat
nice birds. Yeah.
All right, yeah, but vultures ain't turkeys. Two different animals.
Yeah,
it's a Canadian experiment just to see how herding things occur. I don't think you could ever upscale it to humans. But what they did is they got turkeys. Is it a flock or a run of turkeys, whatever they're called? So there's a load of turkeys, you know, they don't know whether they're in captivity. They don't know whether they don't know. They don't know what the fucking hell's going on. But what they did is they just dropped a dead cat in the middle of a flock of turkeys, maybe 30 turkeys, right? Mooching around, and just drop a cat in there. And the idea is that as dumb as turkeys are, they do have a sense of mortality of other species. So you throw a dead cat in there, they go, oh, fuck, it's a dead cat. And they all kind of agree as a group mind. They agree it's a dead cat, and they just agree to ignore it, you know. And they just walk around. But they were walking around, turkeys, no discernible patterns, nothing, just crazy turkeys. But once you throw a dead animal, in this case a cat, then they still behave like turkeys, but they team up and they just avoid it. They just walk around in it, knowing it's a dead animal. But
do they move away, man?
I don't know. I'd have to check it. It's an experiment. I think it's a French-Canadian experiment from the 1960s. I don't suppose it's YouTubeable because nothing got proved. Somebody was trying to prove that turkeys have a sense of their mortality, you know, and you couldn't prove it. You could chase them around with a gun. You could threaten them from the day they were born. You can show them videos of other turkeys getting eaten, but nothing's getting through. You throw a dead animal in the middle of them, and then all of a sudden they ignore it like human beings do. But turkeys have a deliberate way of ignoring it, which is to carry on behaving like turkeys, but turkeys in the presence of death. I know it doesn't make any sense, but there is an experiment. What conclusions anybody how they came up with other experiments without turkeys and cats, but you know, herd instinct or whatever it was. I don't know. It probably never went anywhere. Being one of those Canadian experiments. Canadian.
This is such a great animal. I love this. A young jaguar, really. If I could get that.
Well, Colombian drug dealers have loads of tigers.
Yeah.
So
Hacienda Nápoles. It was the personal zoo of Pablo Escobar. I wanted to get married there, but my wife said no. But I actually wanted.
We'll have our honeymoon. We won't get married there. We just have our honeymoon there. We can get.
Our honeymoon to the other side of the world into Indonesia, but yeah, I still want to go there. Yeah, it's nice. I mean, if you're the fucking boss, why not have your own zoo?
True. We have a thing here. I don't know whether it's called on an island. Saying like I'm being ignorant piggy because there's no difference, right?
Tony Montana had his own zoo.
Okay.
Do you remember? It's about the same time as they started selling this idea of personal trainers. They started selling the idea of fucking dog walkers. It was like jobs for middle class people who
people walking dogs. That's still happening around Ireland. People still do that kind of stuff. Walk other people's dogs, you know.
I'm a professional dog walker.
It's weird, isn't it?
Isn't it? What got you into this particular line of work? Well, I've always liked dogs. Fuck you now.
And I always liked walking.
And you know, and every now and again you see it and you think, sweetheart, little sweet 15, you know, or 7, whatever it is. Not that I ever think of
some young lad with nothing else to do.
Prepared to walk dogs. £8.75 an hour.
Hi, Royal. Welcome back.
Yeah, we have the same here. We have professional dog walkers here in Australia. I think Del Carl was saying.
Started in fucking Australia.
Yeah,
it sounds like one of those crazy colonial fucking schemes.
Lazy rich people with more money than sense.
Yeah.
Who never
I'm
knew.
enjoying these jaguars, baby jaguars.
Yeah,
so beautiful.
Yeah.
The guy has put in.
Yeah, no, I really, if I mean, I've got it on the wall, you know, in my living room. I'm posting pictures. I would love to have a baby jaguar. That would be a thing. Really, really.
I watched that crocodile top 10, and I like the second one where the crocodile was playing sort of dead. It's actually trying to get it. That was pretty interesting.
Nature either. I despise it in suffering.
Yeah, it's all well and good until they start getting.
I mean, whichever animal dares to attack a crocodile, right? I mean,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but it's all well and good until these things start getting bigger. You know what I mean? You cuddle up with a fucking cheetah, you know, when it's fully grown.
That's true.
You know, you forget to.
But I've got 4 months here, so. I mean, if it's a baby jaguar, then 4 months along the road, okay, I will hand it in. I mean, she or he is getting a bit too big, so yeah. So
I have no natural environment, no jaguar.
Well, it's the only cat here. You know, there are pumas as well in South America, but it's the only big cat here in South America is jaguars.
Do you have the same as Africa has? You have like set asides for wildlife or stuff. You know, you get the wildlife.
No, well, it's even more. Here it's more original than in Africa. I mean, if you go to the Amazon, it's wildlife. It's really not. I mean, people haven't been there, you know. It's really huge. I mean, I live in a country where there are people in the same country who still hunt their food with poison darts. You know, I mean, this is where I live.
For tourists or for food.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's tourist stuff and all that, but there's
We
still
hung
people.
out
I
for
mean,
tourists.
and I mean, they're like little contracted people, and then they speak their own,
So what?
their own language, and so.
You have a big
No,
lump.
man, come on.
You have a big lump of monkey steak, and then you start tripping a half an hour after eating it. You know, you get your dessert, and you
Yeah.
go, "Oh wow."
Oh, guys, I've been eating monkey brains.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm watching it now. Yeah, and he has got his eye there, the second of the jaguar, and he's walking around and he's playing that, and then he's playing with his tail. Wow! Oh man!
There was a YouTube that was based on a documentary by the BBC. Probably took about 3 days. Anyway, they get posh, shabby fucking middle classes, and they hang around Longleat or somewhere. Anyway, when they were little boys, choir boys, butter wouldn't melt in their mouth, silver spoons and all that. They had this tiger because their old man works at fucking tiger. When they, what would you call them? The aristocracy were trying to get into the world wildlife game. So they were,
Yeah.
you know, setting up their, oh, we can keep tigers in our backyard, you know. And everybody paid them a lottery money. Anyway, there's a story, and it is a cute clip. And the idea was these two lads who went off to Oxford to study smashing up Iran and whatever, you know, ending up helicopter pilots or fucking working for the SAS or something. I don't know. But when they were kids, they knew this lion, right? And anyway, they released this lion back into its natural environment, only because the television crew had been following it around, I suppose. If it was a normal lion, they fucking shut it.
But these people really spend fucking hundreds of hours to get 15 minutes of footage.
Yes. Yeah, I feel it was like this. But this is about a minute and a half footage with Jeremy Irons, and at long last, the two long lost creatures are reunited. Anyway, but you can tell that this lion fucking recognises the two lads and then starts like playing about, you know, rolling over for his tummy to be tickled and stuff like this. But the way that they did it, will they recognise them? Will they be?
Yeah. That's mainstream narrative. Yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody's standing by with a tranquilizer gun. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But
It's so sad about these African hunts and so. Yeah, you're right.
And the music swelled up, and it was
Yeah.
kind of moving in the way. The only bit I saw was a YouTube. Somebody sent it me. Said, "Oh," I said, "Oh, all right." But I did watch it, and you could tell it was hokum, pure bonkerman hokum, with Lawrence and Oliver, the two grown-ups who are in their 20s, who got their exes paid to go and see this fucking rat of the jungle, and flown over by the BBC. And you know what? Blind people still have to pay a television license. So, man, they get a discount, but they, you know, I know a blind guy. He don't even know fucking television.
I mean,
He don't know where it is in the room. He don't know how to switch it on.
I know, man. I mean, I was in Germany. And I was moving out to move to Colombia. And then there was a guy coming to my house. And then he said, "Okay, I want to come in." I said, "Okay, yeah, that's fine." "Yeah, you have a TV." Yeah, I have a TV, but I don't have cable, so I don't watch TV like cable things. And just I have it for my gaming and for and stuff. And then no, you have to pay 600 euros. And I said, "No, I don't pay that." "Yeah, you have to pay that. It's a law." And I said, "Fucking Nazi, get out of my house right now." I really said that to him. And I never
paid the 600 euros when you give me my
never paid that to him.
Part of the deal of
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? Because only because I have a TV. But it's not connected. It's not connected to anything, to cable or something. No, to my laptop and to my gaming, all that. But nothing like a cable network. Nothing.
No.
Fuck you, fucking Nazi. I literally told it to his face, and then he was okay. I'm going to make a cake. Well, that's fine. I'm moving out. Fuck you. What the fuck? But he wrote me a fine that I had to pay 600 euros for living in Germany for 3 years because I had a TV. Yeah, what the fuck, man? I had a TV. What? I paid it with my own money. I mean, I don't have anything to do with it. No. But yeah, you have a TV, so you have a connection. No, I don't have a connection. But I mean, he really wanted me to pay to the government, the German government, 600 euros. Yeah, fuck you. I don't do that.
But if he's moving in there, I mean, Germans are straight up.
Oh yeah, they are. Oh yeah.
So you don't want to, if he's moving, it's to be, straight. Then you don't want to come across in it. I don't know. I've got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually a bit afraid when I at the airport in Frankfurt. The first time I was going to Europe with my wife, I was a little bit afraid that they would charge me for fines and all that. Nothing happened. I mean, these guys don't communicate. Fine. Are you still recording? Then probably I will get fined.
Yeah, I just typed it in the chat. Gaia and Typo chatting is relaxing in this emergency.
Nah, but I mean,
it's cool. You're cool.
I was in the local spa. I mean, the town I was living in, famous for its spas. So I was in the spa with my girlfriend at the time, and I was kissing her in the spa. I mean, you're in the pool, and of course, kissing your girlfriend. And then there was a guy.
Adolescent behavior in the public.
Yeah, I mean, there was a guy. He was hitting his wedding ring to the how do you say it? Like the iron bar there, and close to the pool. And then he was saying, "Yeah, no kissing." And then, I was like, "What the fuck? I mean, this is my girlfriend. I mean, why can't I not kiss her?" So then my decision was to actually finger her, and then nobody noticed it, but actually she came underwater in the spa where we couldn't kiss, right? And then,
she was on the rag.
You fucking Nazi.
They would have had evidence. Wait till she's on the rags and people.
Oh.
Just to upset.
She was not on the rags, but
it's a big emergency now.
Because
I mean, like that. Germans are really like that. I mean, they're so indoctrinated. They're so indoctrinated. I mean, Faye, I talked with Faye. I mean, I like Faye. I have nothing bad about Faye. But she's so indoctrinated about Jews and all this stuff. When she lived in Germany, in the same town actually, where I live.
What's the Greek word for freedom? Is it
eleftheria?
Eleftheria. There you go. That's all we need to know now, isn't it?
Well, you have to have an open discussion about the fucking Jews, You can't just shut it down either.
Of course you can. You fucking anti-Semite.
You can fucking try.
You talk about the Jews like we run all the world. And we do. Yeah, that's true. Because George Soros is my uncle. And Henry Kissinger is my other uncle. But you fucking anti-Semite, you should slow down. You should not speak about how the Jews run the world.
Are you finished? It's a fucking trick, isn't it? Yeah, we will talk about
it is a trick.
We will complain about anti-Semitism.
Thank you, Jim.
We will whinge
It's so
about
kind,
it.
though, about two beggars in Ireland, funny enough.
Yeah, stick a few batteries into the SDLP, you know.
And the one geezer, he's got his crucifix begging at the end of the street, and the other geezer's got and the priest comes up, and the priest gives the fellow who's got like all these Christian paraphernalia, he gives him like a fiver. I'm sorry, my son, for that. And he goes up to the other kid who's begging, but yeah. And he says, "Why don't you do what he does?" He says, "You trying to tell the Cohen brothers how to run a business?" I can't remember the joke though. In other words, the priest didn't even know it was. He favoured the one side at the expense of the other, but they were both. He didn't even know it was. You know, how do you tell the Cohen brothers to run a business? You fucking monkey.
True.
But I can't remember it. The one guy's going, "Oh, please give to Sacred Heart or something or other." And then the other kid's up the other end of it, begging for somebody else. And the priest favours the one, but they are brothers, and the priest don't realise. And then he goes up to the other kid. He says, "Why don't you be more like him? He's an honest beggar, and he loves us." And he's trying to tell us how fucking bad. It's an old joke. Yeah. Do you reckon the Germans will have another Gaia? I hope they do. Good, you know, a good opponent is well worth fighting. You fucking.
No, the Germans are completely, literally completely indoctrinated. Really. I mean, even with my best friend, he is. I talked to him about the space turbo. Sorry, Typo. Sorry. But I talked to him about and I shared my research about the Apollo hoax and so. He's a geologist, and he's my best German friend, and he was okay with that. But once you start talking about Second World War, I mean, these people they shift. I mean, there's like some kind of
don't count.
You know, and no, you cannot talk about that. Really, it's sick. It's even sicker than in Holland, where it's already sick. But in Germany, it's extreme, and that is also what I had with Faye. I mean, if I talk about Jews, I mean, she's like, I mean, like the immediate reaction is like, no, I cannot talk to you. I mean, she's nice and she's okay. I mean, that's not the point, but it's such a big programming there. It's amazing.
Should have been nicer to them then, shouldn't they?
What, sorry?
The Germans should have been nicer to the Jews.
Well, actually, if you think about it, they were nicer to the Jews than to the own fucking Germans. And that's because the Nazis were Jews, so
yes,
that's why.
Better rations and
yeah, well, exactly. I mean, they let their own people being bombed to pieces.
Yeah,
while the Jews in Auschwitz had their own swimming pool. I mean, what the fuck?
Very talented people, though, the Germans are race of fucking smoke.
And I agree with the narrative that Germany got fucked. Of course, Germany got fucked big time. Yes, I agree with that. But that was the whole idea behind it, right? I mean, Germany was getting too big, too strong, too advanced. So what did they do? First, with the First World War, and then with the Second World War, get Germany down because they were getting too big, too advanced.
Well, you know, I mean, all human history is just a grab for resources, and it's still going on there, but it's being true. We're being given mollycoddle. I mean, fucking Americans. I wish they'd just fuck up out of Africa, you know, that way. I don't say we're having it. Don't pussyfoot around. Don't say, oh, we're all. You know, they want it. They want Africa.
And that is also proving John LeBon wrong, that war is a so-called hoax. No, of course not. It's not a hoax. Of course, it's controlled, but it doesn't mean it's a hoax. I mean,
You
it's
can listen to it if you like. I don't know anybody of a right.
yeah, but I mean, this guy is supposedly
he's
the
undermining
smartest
himself, really.
guy around, but he just keeps repeating it. War is a hoax. Period.
Shit doesn't stick. But the point is,
I mean,
shit sticks to
fuck
normal
you, man.
people. It doesn't stick to him.
I mean, if it were a hoax, then that means that there were no Americans in Iraq from 2003 or 1991, if you want, onwards. Of course there were. Of course. I mean, that happened.
Americans don't fight wars. Americans hoax wars. They're the hoaxers, not not honest people.
But there were American soldiers on the ground in Iraq and in Afghanistan.
Well, fucking they should have stayed out of it then, shouldn't they? Not their business, what they do.
The big guys, of course, but the foam soldiers, I mean, they were just dudes. I mean,
look, the Americans can't knock the fucking skin off a rice pudding. And they never have been able to. To a man, they are fucking cowards. That's why they cling to their religion. That's why they cling to their non-religions. That's why they have fraternal. They couldn't.
This patriotism. Yeah, you're right.
As a unit, they cannot fight their way out of a wet fucking paper bag, the wankers. Promise you.
You're right. Yes.
Go on then. Let's have another war. We'll join up with the Germans and see where them fuckers are. Eh? But you know what we got to do? We got to start going underground before they fucking... See, all they can do is bomb us. Fucking cowards. Every fucking one of them. And they are the biggest jerks in the world because, as you say, the Jews run it, so they're fucking getting wanks around for them. And they have this kind of ex-colonial guilt. I mean, how many fuckers, SMJ, for instance, supposed to be an Austin, Texan fucking resident, right? How many of those wankers in Austin, in Texas, fucking honestly believe the bullshit, you know? And they're getting all involved. Now, Woodrow Wilson was the dirtiest fucking rat in the world. And yet, he was such a decent guy that he could hold two positions at once. We shouldn't get involved, but we have to get involved.
That is a sign of psychopathy, I may say.
Well, are you suggesting that all Americans are psychopaths?
No, not at all. Most of them are believers. No, but if
the Germans want to go to tomorrow with the Americans, I think it's about time we sign up with the Germans, don't you? And, you know, we don't need your help, you bunch of fucking... You know, that much. Germany, Germany, Europe, not the Italians. They're a bunch of fucking cowards with their fucking Pope up there and all that, even though they're a secular country. I mean, what are they got? Oh, we're a communist country. No, you're not. You're a bunch of cunts and always will be. Greeks included, right? Greeks included.
But okay, if we about Greeks,
well, we ain't going to invade America.
I mean, there is no. I mean, in the 21st century, there is no bigger psyop. Sorry, Typo, please. But in the 21st century, there was no bigger psyop than getting Greece into the European Union and fuck the whole society up with the Goldman Sachs and all this bullshit.
But they're backwards.
I mean, these people, they were not. They were not guilty of anything. I mean, they were just living their lives like you and me, you know?
Listen, you big them up, you big up your enemy, you tell them that they are the fucking you know, they are the reason democracy exists. And then you treat them like a bunch of carrot crunchers, you know? Then I'll tell you. Think about Ireland and its republic, where the intellectuals there were always treated as inferior fucking superstitious.
Oh, that is
so
exactly
what they do is fight, and the point is they can fight, but they can't beat a bigger fucking.
Yeah,
you can't do it.
Yeah, that's
So
why I relate.
Sorry,
No. That's why I relate so much to Del Crass and Caham's and Rollo's research into the so-called famine. It was just a genocide. I mean, it was just. That's why I called it on the Alps. It's the Irish Holocaust.
You wouldn't want to live through it, would you? You wouldn't be able to comfort yourself while you are starving and those that starve around you with the fact that you know better than all the other starving people. You know better.
If you know that other people took the other
comfort is in getting double crushed.
But if you know that other people took food away from you,
it means universal. It means universal. So whatever they're doing is universal. It ain't universal with me. I'm protesting in any way, shape, or form. But it is not universal. But we've got no answer to it unless the Germans get their act together and we have another world. And this time we join up with the Germans and we rule the fucking world. That's how we should do it. We rule the world. Not these jumps up, never come down fuck pigs. Not these people who are being
that's a bit.
Zionist overlords.
Yeah. Typo,
you're right.
You're
and
right.
then they have to do as they're told, wouldn't they?
No, Typo, you're right. I believe that.
Well,
we rule it. We rule it. Not the fucking elites. I mean, they're fucking insecure, and that's shown in the sloppiness of all these fucking hoaxes. Right? I mean, they're insecure. They're a psychopath. The psychopaths are insecure about themselves by definition. So that's why they make it like a.
Where I disagree with you.
I mean,
where I disagree with you. Your psychological, based on papers and psychopathy.
No, it's not based on papers. It's based on my personal experience.
Proper ones.
A typo. I mean.
Yeah,
I mean, sorry. My father met the founder of the Bilderberg
He'll
Group.
stab you in the neck with a baby sham glass as soon as looking.
No.
Right? He has no what's this. I mean, he'll look you in the eye and just stick it in your neck.
No.
It doesn't matter. Not because he doesn't like you, just because he's going to do it. That's what he does. Not anything. No. Nobody's going to walk away with a.
Typo,
let
me spell it out, please. What psychopaths do?
Psychopaths who are in control don't actually up close to you. I'm on about psychopaths that stand next to you and think they're all right, and then they stick you in the glass with a neck with a bottle. And they don't feel anything.
No, that's not what psychopathy is, really. I mean, I grew up in this environment. Hey, come on,
nations and governments are not. There are no psychopaths in power. You can't get there with a platonic education. They are not allowed to rise.
They're all psychopaths in power. They're all
psychopaths being in charge is bollocks. The only psychopaths talking about psychopaths are being in charge are the psychopaths that are talking about people who ain't psychopaths. That makes you psychopathic, you see. Don't denounce people. Everybody who denounces a psychopath is a psychopath. You included.
Right? Why?
Because that's what psychopaths do. Don't you know anything?
That's like a Hannibal Lecter scenario.
I don't accuse. I observe, and I have points I have arguments to point out why I think that this is.
A world ago with a psychopath, wasn't it?
Enough of the psychopath shit, man.
I want to make the point it's psychopaths are peacocks. The animal peacock is showing off, but they're actually very weak in themselves. That is what
because
psychopaths
they
do.
are solitary, and everybody says all positions of power. A psychopath in all positions of power. It wouldn't work like that because they
But
have
being,
platonic
I mean, we are
Jesuit
so.
training.
I mean, look at us here in the
I'm
Discord.
decanting a bottle of mead at the moment.
I mean, in Del Snug, we are solitary as well, but we group up, right? I mean, we stick together.
We chat about
That is
stuff.
also what psychopaths do, but they have far more power.
I'm suggesting you haven't met as I met. You said your father was a psychopath. I suggest he was just a grumpy old man, right? Like people are.
I mean,
Most
it's pretty easy if you don't know him.
Yes, well, what I'm saying is I do, and we know they're psychopaths, and I suggest that psychiatry or modern medicine or these people really fail to notice them. They don't. They're looking for a different set of criteria to say, oh, that's a psychopath. And it's easy to call people who are, in not even in positions of power. He's a psychopath, he is. Like, what was it said today? Capitalism. And Napoleon says, well, I think it's poor lesbians, So I suggest that people who see psychopaths everywhere don't really know psychopaths.
Well, I can tell from my own experience that I know psychopaths. And that's how I woke up, actually, to all of this. Because I recognize the behavior.
Psychopaths, you become psychopath.
I mean, if you don't let me speak, okay.
Come on, man.
As well.
I mean, I recognize the behavior. I recognize the behavior of manipulating people. Narcissistic behavior of not ever acknowledging that you're wrong, of seeking power. That is a trait of psychopaths.
From the outside looking in.
And it's natural because they look for people who are just like them, just like we are doing here, right? We look for people who are just like us. I mean, it's not judgmental. That's just how nature works, or human work, right?
Who you like, mate. You look for who you like.
Well, exactly. So that's how psychopaths get together and they form a power group in history. I mean, it goes way fucking back. It goes hundreds of years back. It's not today.
Psychopaths don't group together.
I mean, today is not written about today. Sorry.
You can't put. You're saying isolated psychopaths.
No, well, I am not isolating it.
You don't choose
I'm just putting it in a bigger picture. I'm doing the exact opposite.
Trust him, he's one of our psychopaths. I said exactly the same thing. Something I know. I said, don't worry about it. Psychopath is one of our. That was tries to kill me.
Yeah, that is what the mainstream tries to convey. The picture that psychopaths are like Hannibal Lecter eating liver with a red wine.
That's
not what psychopaths are. Psychopaths are controlling other human beings.
Well, I don't believe in any mental. I don't believe in young psycho. Believe in it, So does that make me a fakeologist? That we don't fit in so easily. Because I don't believe in psychopathy.
I mean, Typo, from all our...
because I don't believe that people that go to public...
all our things we share, I wouldn't ever call you a psychopath. No, you're not.
Man, the very word psychopath, it comes from their dictionary. Right, where this is an ever increasing.
That's exactly why I introduced
No.
Term psychopath.
Yes, it's because it is a psyop, right? The very fact of calling someone
Psycho
Right,
is not
But
a psyop.
it doesn't mean that
No.
certain
That's like
people
saying
might
the sun is the
exhibit
sun.
traits that are pointed out, right?
Oh,
in
there's
the
a word.
vast,
There
another
are
word.
certain traits. Come on, man.
In-
I mean, you
in
can
the
recognize
vast
if you know it, you
canon,
recognize it.
in the vast canon of human behavior, right? And then all of a sudden, the people, the controllers who control all this stuff, and they created a thing called psychiatry and blah blah bloody blah.
Go on.
And then
Younger Freud.
what they do is they superimpose that over various human behaviors. And then they tell you what's
that
acceptable and what's not, and what's a psychopath. They come up with words, and it's like everything else, man. It's like the fucking dinosaurs. It's like every
They
the
came up
medical
with a word,
industry.
the most scary word in the
No,
world,
they
and then they adopted it for themselves.
They
Don't give me that
they
shit.
fucking hung on to the Latin, and then they can call it a Latin word, and it's just beyond.
It's Greek, but it's fine.
It can be Greek, it could be
Industrial
Latin, it could be all double Dutch to the general public, right? Whatever it is, you know. But that's what they do as well. But that's just to break up that little argument between
American
you two.
psycho, psycho this, psycho
Yeah,
that.
psycho.
You
When
know,
they look,
But
they
Dale, you're right. Dale, you're right. But that
I
doesn't
don't-
mean that there are certain character
violence.
traits which you
Oh,
can
yes,
define in a certain way. If you want to call it psychopath or some other name, I don't
Yes.
care. I mean,
well,
it's
that's
not
what I
about
said.
It's
That's,
about the traits.
Listen, guys.
It's about the argument.
guys, that's what I
When they
said.
haven't got the decency
Gaia.
to fucking. Sorry, mate.
Gaia and Cyber, that's what I said, man. Is that they superimpose whatever
Resign,
language
resign.
they want
He
to
won't,
put
he's a psycho.
over it, but it's still certain human behaviors. Okay, that's we can agree on that point, right?
Yes, we can agree on it. Like
But
America,
certain
fucking-
human behavior. Have
all
you
Americans
ever
are democratic,
have you ever-
freedom-loving people. I'm agreeing.
Hey, Typo, come on, man. Have you ever met a
Typo, you're going to
psychopath?
get
I mean,
ejected
a
from the
guy
pub.
who ticks all the boxes of the so-called psychopath, and you're right, it's all part
I
of
probably know half a
But
dozen.
have you met someone like that who ticks all those boxes?
I deal every day of the week with people like this, and none of them are in government. None of them to rule over anybody. What they do is they're just intense about other. You know, they don't know. I agree with no empathy, no, but they never ever. And the old, they're just like lower working class.
Yeah, but
you got
that's the
it
thing.
more in. There
Yeah,
ain't
but
nobody in. That's a different term, right?
Yeah,
These
no, but
people are-
Typo, I mean, that's the thing. Not every psychopath is intelligent. I mean, intelligence and psychopathy.
But you're
they
on
have
about
a-
those that
they-
rule over us, that have no regard for our well-being. You are saying that these people attain positions of power and then can just do what they like. I'm saying I don't
They
believe
seek
that.
it.
What they
They
are,
seek it.
they're psychopaths, and they get weeded out by the age of 20, and they get nowhere, absolutely nowhere.
No, I agree.
They can't
I
even
mean,
deal
I
with their
understand your
psychopathy.
point. But
They're bullshitters, they're liars, they're fantasists, they're waltz and misses, they are control, but they ain't got any power. They're nothing.
yeah,
They're
I agree. I agree.
they're the psychopaths I meet every day of the week.
Yeah, okay,
Now I
okay.
meet other people who run for, you know, not run for local shit, get involved. Out of whatever reason, I don't know. You know, I'm likely to believe in empathy or as psychopathy. You know, a thing that you can't really put your finger on. I don't know why he helped me. I don't know why.
Okay, but let's
But
take
that's more prevalent.
another analogy of a football player. I mean, you can play football, right? Okay, but the
I
only
don't
way.
trust anybody that kicks a round ball.
Yeah, I mean,
Never
that's
trusted them.
irrelevant.
I don't trust their parents. I mean, imagine a
come
man
on,
that
man.
kicks his son a round ball. to kick, and then teaches him the nuances
But
and
that's
teaches him football
irrelevant. That's
and
irrelevant.
tries to equip him for a world to come by kicking a fucking football. That
If-
man's a fascist.
If you make it to the 18th of Manchester City or Manchester United or Chelsea or whatever, you have to play along with the agenda against your own.
Working for
personal-
psychopaths, you say?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Okay. So the man in black is a psychopath. Look, we all know they got
no
no
remorse, no remorse, no self-reflection. I mean, that's what I saw in my own life. Woke up very late,
The
very
term
late.
psychopathy is being used as a get out. Look,
No,
there you
no,
got your
no, no,
Nancy
no,
priest.
no,
Hold
no.
on, Gaia, 1 second, and then that's it. Because you got your Nancy priest, you got all
Gaia
these
and
dirty
Typo are
things, all these
fighting
rocks that we're uncovering.
clans.
And the thing is, instead of saying this is amongst us, we all suffer from these traits. Like, oh, he was a psychopath. He's not like us. He's different. How on earth did he get to work with us? He's a psychopath. We're not. Yeah, you got me. So it's an easy term. Psychopath. Oh, he's a psychopath. So he's one of them, is he? He's a psychopath. He's a paedophile. Some people can't even spell paedophile with an A and an E, you know?
Well, if
Even on fakeologists, I've seen people spell
if you
it like
mess, I mean, if you mess
I
with
ain't
an
got no
8-year-old,
A, no Greek in
I
there,
mean,
man.
come on.
Yeah,
If
come
you
on.
mess
Most
with
of
an
those-
8-year-old girl or man or boy, then you are a fucking pedophile. I mean, there's no discussion. I mean, there are certain traits, certain characteristics that come with that. It's not like name calling. It's not accusation. It's analyzing observations you make about certain people.
Learned behaviour.
Sorry.
Psychopathy is not a mental aberration. It's learned behaviour. You learn that shit.
There's a part of it. Yeah,
You
I
can say,
agree.
oh no, that can be forgiven because they're psychopaths.
I have
We
never
get
said that. I have never
Once we
ever said
understand it,
that.
we can stop it. We can bring them back into the fold. Bullshit.
I have
Never-
never ever said we're sick, so we should excuse those people. Never.
No, I didn't say you said, but I'm saying by the fact that you give them a name, you give it a nomenclature, whatever it is, you can also then say, oh, well, we know what it is, so we can deal with it. He's
But
not
that
completely
name
lost.
is related to certain.
No, you get
characters.
born again. Fuckers get born again. And psychopaths, I think, are being set up. I was once a psychopath, but I'm not now. I recognise the tendencies. Yeah, you did, yeah. And there he is on opera. I used to be a psychopath, but I'm all right now. I'm born again. Hallelujah.
Dell, are you still recording?
It's still all going out, and the two
Oh
ye
wow, man.
freaking
I'm
two
just saying,
feckers.
psychopathy, another John Ronson talking point. Like Alex Jones, like conspiracy,
I
like
mean, someone who is able to lie face with a
John
straight
Ron-
face.
based on nothing.
I mean, come on, man.
Nothing.
I've seen it all. I mean,
I've seen a schizophrenic.
and I wish I didn't,
No,
but
please.
in a way it's good because it helps to wake up to all this fucking bullshit we live in.
No, it doesn't.
No?
No.
Well, it does for me.
Not if you
At
think
least
you
for me
might
it
have
does.
some kind of mental illness that stops you thinking straight. No. I'm alright. You're a psychopath. No, you're not. You're I'm a self-identified psychopath. Look, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen even. It doesn't happen.
Not at all.
No? Provide your evidence. Come on, let's provide your evidence.
Some made-up fucking mental name by some fucking psychologist. What
It
do you
is
want me to do?
irrelevant. The name is irrelevant. We can name it
They just
unicorn.
those
It doesn't
type-
matter.
We
The
call them
name-
wrong'uns, Del. We called him wrong-uns, didn't we? He's a wrong. Now, you didn't have to say he's a wrong-un because he was just a wrong-un. Now, wrong-uns don't actually get anywhere. This cream and bastards rising is bullshit. You know that. 60s bullshit. American bullshit, if you like, just to make sure while they were getting their act together in the late 50s and early 60s, everybody was up in there while they got their shit together. Right? So, I don't believe a word of it. And for us to say, oh, it's because psychopaths are in power. What are we going to do? Deal with a psychopath? I deal with him every day. Every fucking day. And I don't think he's special because he works at the, I don't know, he works at the tax office or something or other. And he's a little bit wicked now again. He has fantasies of shooting people when he gets home on his gaming machine. You know,
you don't think it's kind of...
I've never played a shoot 'em up, have you? Have you ever played a first-person shooter? Gamer?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I don't. So my psychological makeup is different from them. I do not nearly cream my little fucking pubescent knickknacks when I shoot somebody's head off in Wolfenstein. It goes all over the place. I'm not like that. Now, you as a grown man, 39 years, how long have you been playing games? Shooting people, sneaking up, strategizing.
Once in a while, not a real big
You're a gamer, you're a psychopath. I'm not like you.
You just said I used to be a psychopath. You just said, I mean, 10 minutes ago, you said I used to be a psychopath. That's what you said, Typo.
What?
I mean, Dell recorded it. You just said 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
you used to be a psychopath.
What's the movie? What's the movie where the two psychopaths are fucking?
You can't blame them and say they're all in positions of power. I'm saying they don't get that far because they're weeded out. The only ones that do have had the education that brings it on, you know, and then they are not truly psychopaths because they know their condition.
Yeah, they will leave.
If you know your condition, how can
Test
you
Vision reckons the 2 of you are going to end up fighting outside the pub. I'm going to throw you out now if you don't stop behaving.
I'm just saying it doesn't exist.
You just said it yourself, and now you say it doesn't exist. It doesn't make any sense.
No,
right.
Test Vision, we don't like.
I mean,
where do we get our program?
No snitches here, man. We're
but women
still
don't exist.
Yeah, we need an ambulance. We'll call an ambulance.
You were just saying I used to be a woman, but women don't exist. That is what you said.
Would you like to join the conversation, Test Vision? Just asking someone in the chat there. Go on, go ahead. Go on. Put up your dukes.
Hi.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying it's an easy way. Oh, they're all psychopaths.
Have you got any fucking books from Thomas Sheridan? Because I bought his bloody tomes. Yeah, well, I know. Yeah,
I like him. I
still have his books.
I like his style. I like his washing. I don't like his information.
Read his bullshit. See where he's coming from, and then
making a name. I know. I kind of liked him.
Attack his arguments, not the person.
When he had nothing, when he ran out and he just said psychopath. I've got to study psychopath.
There's psychopaths everywhere, right? Because he's on social media all the time, and then he was always...
Yeah, and he wants to talk about psychopaths.
I don't care. I don't... If he is interviewed... If he is interviewed by Alex Jones, I don't care. It doesn't take away the
voice recognition. Play mine and see who is the most.
Yeah, you're right,
psychopathic tendencies. It's you, Gaia, not me. Okay.
Be in the fucking scratchers, throwing peanuts at the screen. You're just,
I can see why you're calling John the Bon a psychopath, because he's detached.
No, I asked a question. I didn't call him.
Have you got any evidence for that, mate?
Well, I did. I gave it and then skipped over it. Yeah.
No, I'm
You're
only
in the
joking.
psychopath. You go and play on your own and stop fucking interfering with the output. What's it? Because I have not listened to any of Ab's outputs since you turned up, pal.
Well, Gaia, I really have to say that
And
I've
all your
never
fucking
tried to
WWF shit ain't getting nowhere with me.
personate
And
John
anybody that starts
LeBron in
accusing people of being
any
psychopaths, they got no
I
shape
reason.
or
didn't
Look,
start
it's
accusing anyone.
Miles Mathis, you haven't given him a big shout out
He's
yet.
an
Big
MM.
shout out to Miles Mathis. That's Miles Mathis. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. I'm sick of him, Del. Promise you. Wanker.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that's how it goes, I mean, come on.
We just gotta, you know, keep on doing our own thing, man. And yeah, it's fair comment. We can talk about it. These people put themselves out there, right? Dare I say it? We're even out there at the moment, but we're passing fair comment. You know, there's nothing wrong with having fair comment.
I mean, my position is just to share observations, and if other people disagree, then give good arguments, and then I will position. You know?
Yeah, man. Ireland could disappear in a puff of fucking snow tomorrow. You know, if this fucking shit doesn't stop.
If anything, looking into
No.
potato so-called famine. I mean, if there was anything going on there, it was fucking English psychopaths who genocided the 5 million Irish people, right? I mean, if you are true and honest, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And there are certain character traits. I mean, you're right. I mean, he is so-called defined by the mainstream, but they always want to put it into like a Hannibal character and cannibalistic stuff and killing people. No, that's not what psychopaths are in general. No, of course not. I mean, they love to manipulate. They love to play, and that's also another thing. It's also, I mean, what I've talked to so many people online. They say, yeah, well, if they stage an event, why don't they do it perfectly? Because they don't fucking care. They know they get away with it, but they also like to play with us. It's all a game for them. We're the pawns or the spectators or whatever. I mean, we are part of it. I mean, if nobody ever would look at the in any country, they will stop because it's just not worthwhile, right? And take a pathological liar. And I always use the same example because I think it's great. I mean, someone tells you, yeah, I've been to the top of the Mount Everest without oxygen, without Sherpas and all. And yeah, I have photos here. Yeah, yeah, you believe me? And then you say, no, no. How did you do that? I mean, I question you. I don't believe you right away. I question you. So how did you do this and that and all that? Yeah, I've got excuses and all that. But why would someone like that stage the perfect trip to the Mount Everest if he can get away that 95% of people would just believe him? And that's what happens, right? I mean, 95% of the people believe that people died on 9/11.
He boiled up snow and ice and made a nice hearty cup of Bovril, you know, Chris Bonington, you know, the whole. It stinks of, you know, an advertisement sponsor and all that bullshit, you know. But there's the guy, you know, sitting on the side of a hill, a snow-topped hill, and he's, you know, boiling up snow and ice, you know. Nobody asked him how he did it or, you know.
That's the thing. And that's how they get away with it, because nobody asks questions. Nobody looks into it. Nobody.
Exactly.
I mean,
That is true. And it's always quite eerie when Typo stops talking, isn't it? Sorry, Typo.
Yeah, but I mean, he literally said tonight, I used to be a psychopath. That's pretty, well, I
You
must say.
can't not used to be. I used to be a psychopath, you know, like is that like Hannibal Lecter and he's in a retirement home somewhere and he's just sitting around in a bar somewhere and he's going, I used to be a psychopath. I just can't be arsed.
I used to eat livers, but now I am a vegetarian.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, I can't be arsed anymore. I just tune into, you know, different audios and listen, live out vicariously my life. But I can't find, you know, any Chiantis and kidneys and shit. You know?
Yeah.
And then what do they do? They make TV series of like the likes of Hannibal Lecter, and you're kind of going, yo, fucking hell, man, you know.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They try to position psychopathy in that way, and I agree with you. I mean, psychopathy is so-called defined by mainstream, and I agree with that. But that doesn't mean at the same time, in the character traits, they exist. You see people who are manipulating. You see people who are narcissistic. You see people who have no remorse, no self-reflection. It exists. Well, yeah, man, if you want to call it psychopath or some other name, it doesn't matter. I mean, the name doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, well, can we divide it down into, like, if we go back to, like, the very language you use in psychopath and blah, 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 right? And we do talk to it, like, even just there, like, doing the Hannibal Lecter and whatever. Because we do talk about it in that respect of that we were given this thing, you know, like even the whole phenomenon.
Completely agree.
No, but hang on for a minute. Let me just finish my thought. Yeah, okay, that the whole psychopath genre was sort of on the tail end of after the Kennedy assassination, and then into the Summer of Love and all that stuff, and then we had. You see, this is even in the mainstream, the latest thing that is allegedly going to be made. Tarantino's new movie has Leonardo DiCaprio and someone else teaming up, and they're doing a fucking Charles Manson story.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm thinking this is like a continuation. Like, you know, we've heard this stuff so much before, right? But I think, right, the whole thing, right, it's part of, like, if you're, you know, creating a whole new concept, right, i.e. psychiatry, and you're going to be placing different names, albeit in Latin or Greek, on human behavior, and you've got a captive audience, because that's what it is, right? Yeah. And before you know it, you've got all sorts of stuff. And then in conjunction with the Hollywood movies. And then that's where we get where it's like the Hannibal Lecter or you know, even feckin' Psycho, the original movie, remember? Some guy with a mother fixation, you know, chopping up people. You see,
the bathtub.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand with the whole psychiatry agenda, right?
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, if we can find a better word ourselves, and this is why I like so much the glossary. I mean, language is ours. I mean, if we can find a better word, I go with it. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so important. I mean, we have little control of what happens here.
Yeah.
We have full control of what happens in our own life. And one of it, I mean, the most important part of it is language.
Yeah. I just wanted to do a shout out, right? Because you know, I know we're in Dell's pub, right, on Discord, But just a shout out to the people in listening on YouTube. Test Vision is there, right? A guy, he's called Test Vision, and just wanted to say shout out. He's always been there. He's always been respectful. You know, he has his own views on, like we all do, but he's always been respectful and a nice guy. And so, just a shout out to you there, Tess. And he's listening. You know,
hey Tess, hey Tess.
He says
please come in.
Yeah, no, he doesn't do actual talking. He's a listener. He's one of the audience, right? He always has been.
Okay.
But the thing is, he could be fucking MI5 for all we know. But he's respectful and a nice guy. But just said he said that it's like listening in the good old days where there's no PC. Well, that's what's always been here, right? In my idea of free speech. So, you know, if YouTube does fucking, you know, do a chop on it, well, we'll see what, you know, your man's fucking, you know, the whole court case bullshit, right? But the point is, we'll still always find each other, right? People will always, there'll always be another way around things, you know? We just happen to be, you know, paddling around in this fucking thing that was given to us by DARPA. Well, when I say given to us, people still paid through their, you know, their American tax dollars or whatever the feck, you know what I mean? But we all pay in our own way for all the bullshit. You know? But anyway, just a shout out to Test Vision anyway, man, you know? He's a good guy.
Good.
And Gub Scout as well. While I think of it. So those two dudes probably listening in and they're just, you know, chatting, you know. So anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I share so much stuff about my own life.
Yeah.
If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear.
Well, that's what they keep telling us, man.
No, I mean, anyone can trace me. And I'm looking at my door right now. CIA coming into it. Right? They don't care about us.
I'm looking out my front window via my computer. Well, I literally have the window open here. It's literally on my right-hand side here. It just looked sideways. It's weird, right?
I mean, do you see any snipers there?
No, I don't see anything. You know, I couldn't even get out there tonight. I'll have to fucking open it tomorrow. But I wasn't. You know what I mean? If I was able to open it tonight and go outside, it would have been a laugh. But you saw though that fucking huge stalag. Let me get this right. It's actually a stalactite because it's coming from the ceiling, and even though it's coming out, you know, but you know what I mean. It's not coming out of the ground. But so I'm going to be having fun tomorrow, taking pot shots with that. I'm going to be shooting at it with a slinger to see, you know, and I get you know, someone to film it. Well, Elaine will probably film it, you know. I already have her, you know, roped into it. Right. It'll be funny. Because it's a huge thing as well. Imagine if you walked outside and this thing just fell off, you know, just landed. That'll be end of story. You know?
No.
It is a fucking, it's kind of dangerous. You look out and go, what the fuck?
No, man. If I would find your channel, your live chat tonight, 3 or 4 years ago, I would be like, these guys are fucking crazy. I mean, of course. I mean, it's a process. It's a process. And if you don't go through that process, and I've taken my friends and so through that process, and they don't call me crazy, but if you haven't been in that process, of course you believe any fucking shite the media point out, and you think that anybody saying differently is crazy.
That's
Of
the
course.
thing, man. Yeah. Now, Typo came up with a great idea. Now, and Denny sort of fucking jumped the gun and just put it into the chat and fakeologist, you know. But it's a good, you know, he was going on about some guy who just watches, you know, he was looking at fucking some TV series, right? And it all was grand until YouTube, you know, hit him with copyrights and shit. But we wouldn't have that problem with the likes of September Clues and September Clues Addendum, you know? And we'd have a watch night where a bunch of us would actually, you know, like we do it here on you know, the YouTube, right?
Yeah.
The stream, and we'd watch it, and we could, you know, a bunch of us could be sitting watching, and we could pause it at various times and throw in our ideas or whatever we were thinking of at the time. You know what I mean? But I thought that was a brilliant idea, and so, you know, I'm going to think about it, you know, for another while. You know, I'm not just going to throw it into the chat, like, you know, but at the same time, I'm going to think about it. So, what do you think about that one, man? We just like, because you know the way Ab is sort of yeah,
I think it's great, especially in the world we're living in right now, where last psyop. I mean, there's a big attack on YouTube. I mean, that's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, fakeologists, YouTube got banned. Simon's videos got removed. I mean, that's happening. It's not some
yeah, it's literally
fantasy. I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
We have proof. You know, we have evidence. Right?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You know, the way Ab, he sort of put them all up on his own server, so he's literally hosting the videos, which is fucking cool. And I've noticed as well, like in my own trip in Discord, you can do that as well in your own sort of domain thing. But the other thing is, with the likes of this, right? I know we're just looking out my window at the freaking snow and whatever, and, you know, the bullshit. But it can also be done like, you know, you screen share and you just watch the movie. And that would be another way of sort of preserving it on, you know, video, and people can watch it and share it and whatever.
Yeah.
To people who, you know, might have heard about it but have never watched it, you know, because I'm sure there's a lot of people like that anyway, you know, in all the various, you know.
Yeah, and the good thing about what you say is like watching a video and then commenting is it's a reflection, because it's the video itself, it's there, so it's fixed. We give a reflection of that video, and you've done something extra.
Well, certain things like that, you know, like that Simon would say himself now, at the time, he didn't know. He was just like the rest of us, were unaware. And we could pause it and go, well, you know, since then, Simon has, you know, changed his opinion on that one. But at the same time, people can give their own opinions on it as well. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be just, yeah. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
So we will eventually do that when I get out of this state of emergency, when I can actually dig myself out.
Oh man,
I'm not looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be weird.
You're a snowman right now.
Yeah. But,
I'm here in tropical Andes. I'm okay with it. Yeah, no, I can understand. I've been there. Like I said, I was coming from Sudan, 35 degrees
35
plus,
degrees centigrade.
To Germany, minus 15.
A little smiley with your tongue sticking out, you know. I'm so sorry.
Holy fuck, man. Fuck.
Yeah, it's fucking mad.
50 fucking degrees difference. No. It was extreme, but yeah. Now I know what you go through in that sense.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, the last time we had really right? There was a bit of snow, maybe a few years ago, whatever, right? But the like this, right? The whole country stands still. This is the weird part about it. They just use that as an excuse, man. Right?
Yeah.
Because they could fucking salt the roads a bit more. Maybe there's an idea.
I mean,
for them.
salt. I mean, so
Yeah, I know.
when I
It's
remember last time
Yeah.
in Holland, there was a deficit of salt. I mean, what the fuck? We have
Yeah.
salt mines everywhere, but how can there be a deficit of salt? I mean, God.
Yeah, it's just taking the piss, right, on the whole salt front. But that's the thing. And so everyone is kind of like, red alert, stay in your homes until tomorrow. Like, what is that only like a martial law diktat, right? I'm telling you, man, they could be doing whatever the fuck, right? But the point is, they're expecting everyone to just be good little. Well, what else can you do when you're just fucking stuck in your home? And the snow is everywhere. You go out and you have a fucking look around, and but everywhere is closed, so everybody else is at home. It's fucking weird. It is. It's a weird. It's straight out Tavistock, anyway. I'm sure, but to actually be experiencing it, yeah, all right. This lab rat says it's weird, right?
Yeah, and you see it all over again. It's
Mhm.
so pervasive, so much repeated. I don't know. Well, that's why I want to
Yeah.
take Wikipedia. It's a nature scare. Right? I mean, things are natural, and that's true. It's not like that some guy in CIA is modifying the weather over Ireland. No, it's climate. It's real. It's Gaia, right? But
Yeah.
they take advantage of it. They steer it. They steer it.
Yeah.
For their own agenda.
Mm-hmm.
If someone can point out the idea, we created snow over Ireland. Okay. And maybe I will listen. I will listen.
Yeah, some like 1950s type general there or admiral, and they're on some sort of giant fucking aircraft carrier that we don't know about, and they're off the coast of Ireland. A couple of pasty-faced Hungarian Jews that seem to have something to do with Ireland, and they're all there.
What are you talking about? You fucking smoke. Talking about Hungarian.
They just go fire, and then all of a sudden they just fire up this giant fan, and it just starts blowing fucking snow all over, all over the East Coast. And there's like the media blackout is like their bullshit. Anyway, they go, oh, it's Storm Emma meets the Beast. This Russian cold front, fucks, this, tropical storm called Emma, and then all of a sudden, we're in perpetual fucking snow globe. Give me a break, man. Well, that's basically what they're telling everybody.
Yeah.
And then they close all the stores, right? So, and then you basically have all the stores are closed, and you've got a snowy backdrop to it, hip deep for most people, and it's kind of like, yeah, the Russians deal with this all the time, so do the Canadians, but like right, when you've never experienced this, like 1985 or 6 was the last time that there was this kind of.
I've seen part of the North Sea frozen.
Yeah,
salt water.
people are going
What?
fucking, Al Gore bullshit.
Yeah, you see ice sheets moving on the fucking sea. What?
Yeah.
I was in June, in fucking June. Can you imagine? In only 1900 meters high in
Yeah.
the French Pyrenees, and we were standing in 40 centimeters of snow. What the fuck? I mean, it's June. And it's not too high, 1900 meters. What?
Well, that's the thing, man.
It happens, but even if that's the thing with the media, even if something happens for real, like an earthquake or a natural thing, like your snow experience right now, they always want to turn it into some kind of an agenda. There's always an agenda behind it if they show it in the news, right? Even if things are real, that's the thing. I mean, it's
that's the thing. What's real, what's not real.
well, I know.
What
I mean,
comes
I
out
don't.
of bullshit is.
I haven't been to Ireland right now, but I trust you completely, and I trust your videos and your photos completely that you are in snow right now because I've lived in 29 years, so I know there is snow happening, and that is real. There's a kind
it's
of an
pretty much
echo.
real. It's fucking mad, man. It's
Of course.
fucking weird. Well, that's the camera there. Earlier on, I pulled it up and stuck it out the window and showed my car covered in feckin' snow. Yeah, it's pretty much real.
Yeah.
But like, what's the motive? Where it comes from? Right, you can just go default and go, it's just fucking weather, man. Or you can go into that whole owning the weather by 2025 and
No, I don't think so. No, I
all
think
that
there
stuff.
is a
Man,
lot of
it's
peacocking and so on.
yeah, it's all there for the fucking for people to peruse and to consider. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm here and I'm fucking looking out at snow on the second of March, 2018, man. Like fuck's sake, I'm trying to plant my first seeds and things. There's fucking snow everywhere, man. You can't do it when that's going on.
Yeah.
So
sorry, I'm eating at the moment. So.
Oh, work away. I'm
No,
drinking.
please talk. Please talk.
I'm drinking at the moment. I'm actually. It's really weird. I opened up a bottle of mead, and the fucking cork, right, was one of those corks that's like was crumbling. Yeah, did you ever come across one of those?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That fucking thing was crumbling all over the place. Like half the cork came out with the corkscrew, and then the rest of it is fucking, dicking around.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
So I literally, and you know what I noticed? It's like, and there was no secondary, adding sugar or anything to it, right? It was literally in a bottle. And this is the first batch that I made like last, oh, fucking hell, it was last April. And it started fizzing.
Okay.
Yeah, it started fizzing, man.
Okay.
Seriously.
But it got fermented.
There was like half well, it was already fermented. You know what I mean? It was already a bottle of alcohol.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
But pulled out half the cork, and then there was another bit of cork left in it, and I stuck a bit, one of those skewers into it, right? And turned it upside down and let it pour into a decanter. And it was right, man, there was like this white foam fizz. And it was like, and even the smell, I could smell the raspberries because it's a raspberry one, right? I made it with some of my raspberries out of the garden from last year, and fucking the smell of it was like lovely. And it was just there was all these little bits of cork in it, and that's why I was decantering it into the thing. So that's what I'm drinking at the moment, man. You know, it's quite nice, and it's got the really nice raspberry smell off it. You know. So.
Nice. Yeah, I love a good wine. Very expensive here. I mean, wine is so fucking expensive. I mean, it's like 10, 15 euros for a wine.
Mm-hmm.
With Colombian salaries.
Yeah.
The minimum salary is 250 euros per month. You know, I mean, it's crazy.
I just want to say to Gub Scout in the YouTube channel, man, no, there was no warning sirens to stay indoors. They were just telling people on the fucking usual media, you know, the news channels and stuff. And if you look on the local news channels, right, it's pretty much telling you, you know, the stores are closed and blah, 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 and there's lots of snow. And you look out your own window and there's lots of snow. So, you know, so it's what I thought was quite funny as well. You know, when I say funny, it's ha and peculiar, is that there was no 6 o'clock ambulances. There was no sort of lunchtime ambulances. There was no Nino for the past 2 days, right?
Yeah.
There you go. That's the other thing. So, and the reason why that is because they're all on emergency duties only, so they're not going to be running back and forth.
I mean, the thing is,
for their lunch break.
That's the thing. I mean, if they can spin it, if there would be a heat wave now in Australia, which there was 1 month ago or something, I mean, they can spin it. Yeah, global warming. But
well,
here
if there was a heat wave here, now then I'd be thinking global warming.
Yeah.
I'm joking, man. But I get what you're talking about, man. I get you.
That's when I mean, even long before coming here, I said, 90% of the news is fake and 10% fun. Propaganda. It's real, but it's spun into a certain agenda.
You see, my take on all of that stuff, right? And that's why, just myself personally, I never liked the idea of, oh, well, we discovered that the news is fake, therefore, you know, it's like some sort of a game, right? I've noticed in my own life, right? And we were talking about go back to 9/11. Right, we know that's the biggest fucking scam in history, right? But the point is that we're surrounded with people who think that that was a fucking real thing. And we're dealing with, you know, the so-called fallout since then, you know, like try going go on an airplane or whatever. See, this is how
and that is real. I mean, the effect is real, even if the hoax is false.
Exactly.
Real,
the statues, the accent statues they bring in are fucking real. You see, when you go to deal with them, and that's the one thing with you know, I consider. In fact, I've actually stated I was a fakeologist to a fucking immigration cop, right? So I'm on some weird obscure list. I never even thought of immigration in context of me. I'd never be dealing with them, but there you go, with the Rollo time, right? But you know what I mean, man. What I'm saying is, these fuckers, you know, they're there and they're fucking, you know, compiling lists or whatever, So there's
Yeah,
no,
and they don't know how to think for themselves.
yeah, and yeah, that's it, man. You know, yeah.
Mhm. No, and also they love their authority. That is what I also see.
Mhm.
People love that. I don't understand, but still, that doesn't mean anything for other people.
Yeah.
They love it.
Like I said earlier on, man, what they did was they overlapped. It's like they put a fucking tent on top of normal human behavior. And then
Mhm.
they start
Yeah.
going, right, someone's angry. Oh, you can't be angry. Really? In my book, if someone can be angry about something, there's nothing wrong with that. But they will say there's something wrong with that. Right? You know what I mean?
No,
So
no.
everybody's fucking put into a box. By who? I would like to ask a psychiatrist, do you know how to grow a potato?
Yeah.
Um,
Good question. Yeah.
do you know how
I
to
mean,
actually maybe cook a
and how
meal?
to hunt an animal, keep
Yeah,
yourself warm at
right.
winter time. I mean, yeah, that is.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter if you think differently about the past and so, but that is where we come from. Right?
You see, in this great scheme of things, let's just take a step back and look at it all and remember this, right? And I'm just saying this from my own fucking point of view, is that you step back and you see the internet. It's all well and good. It's a great fucking thing when people can communicate and we can meet each other and we can book flights, we can do X, Y, and Z, we can buy something off eBay, or we can,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's fucking it's best thing since sliced bread, right?
yeah.
But then on the other hand, right, we're in like situations like now, right? Someone is like, there's about 7 or 8 miles away from here, there's a town that has been without power since last night. So
Yeah.
they
No.
don't even have the luxury of sitting on the internet whinging about their situation.
I know, man. I mean,
Yeah,
without water, running water for 3 days, and
yeah,
then again one day, full day, 24 hours.
yeah,
I mean, here I live in a good area. It's not like I mean, I live
yeah.
like middle class Colombia, like higher class, but then middle class, and it's just not available. I mean, people go to the tap and to get a bucket, get water. That's how it works.
Yeah. So when you have things like that, it's a bit the like that's abstract enough until you experience it in real life.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
So
So much.
when we get all
And
the rest of the
if you
bullshit,
cannot have that,
yeah,
if the millennials cannot cope with that their Facebook and Instagram and what have you are
yeah,
down, I mean, then you're really vulnerable suddenly,
yeah.
right? I don't know
I'll try telling that
either,
to
but
people to
but
see.
at
That's the
least
thing.
we have a better concept of how the world worked before all this bullshit.
Yeah. And then after that, it's down to whatever individual beliefs. You could say, oh, the Roman period or the Greek period or whatever. How about the
Mhm.
period that we're just being given, and go look for secondary sources, primary sources for
Mhm. Yeah.
anything we've been told, and it all leads back to a fucking painting on a wall somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
joking, man, and that's the trip with the Nico Hop books that I've been reading. You see, that's kind of like a no-no in certain areas of fakeology or whatever. But what I recommend, right? I see what this guy is doing, and he makes a good point. See, this is the thing. If someone makes a point, and then you can just fucking say, oh, I don't agree with that, and that's the end of it, right? But when someone literally points out that there's a lot of things on the so-called history where it just points back to some fucking painting in 1649ish, right? And that's his book, 1649ish, So
Hey man, I
that's
know, but
that's his
I
thing.
have to go to bed. I'm sorry, but I would like to chat more, but I cannot.
Yeah,
so.
man. All right, listen, it was great talking to you, Gaia, man.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll do a post-mortem of Typo. We'll say he was here as well.
I
Rewind.
used to be a psychopath. That was his quote
He
of
used
the
to be a
night, I would say.
psychopath. What the fuck? That I've never heard anybody ever saying I used to be a psychopath, but that was like a reformed Dexter or something,
Yeah.
See, that was back to what I was going on about earlier on, right? The likes of Dexter as well, right? We spent too much time going on about Hannibal Lecter, right? But you had the Dexter, and he was like, he was the kind of psychopath that they get the normal people rooting for him. Yep, yeah, fucking Dexter, So all of that stuff, man, right? Yeah, I'm kind of back on track on that now when I'm thinking about it. That was put out there as well to just get people, intelligent people, fucking going, yeah, yeah.
Confuse and conquer.
Confusing. Delcroix said that back in a couple of years ago.
Well, then we found it out together, but then several years apart. But I will I grant you for that.
Go on.
That's what I saw.
Yeah,
Confuse and conquer. It's not dividing. It's confused.
man,
And confusion can lead.
yeah.
Doesn't mean it is. But really, man, thanks for this. But I have to go.
Yeah, and thanks, Gaia, for dropping by, man. And here's the thing:
always.
It does show as well that we can actually talk on Discord, and it comes out over this, just looking at the snow. But you know what I mean? Google.
Well, best of luck, snow, and I'm here still sweating. It's fucking 30 degrees here at night. It's like 28, but still, it's hot here. So yeah, no, but good luck with the snow, and we speak again this weekend, and we'll be online. But then I have to do some work, a little bit less. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Gaia. Thanks, man, and take care, man.
Yeah, you too, man.
I'll play a couple of tunes here now. All right. Good night, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good night.
Yeah, that was Gaia. Gaia's all right, man. He's a good guy. But yeah, it's still fucking snowing here. I know we're looking out. If you can see the actual the weird flickers. But anyway. Anyone's welcome in the pub. As you know, you can see the pub. And I'll just play something here now. See how it works.
We looked up and there was a plane. Next thing you know, we heard boom. We ran up to the corner and hit right into the World Trade Center.
Tony,
Center.
Can you tell us what kind of an airplane is it?
It had to be a 737 had to hit the World Trade Center. It was a big, big plane.
You need to take a break.
Okay, and what do you see at this point?
Oh, smoke and screaming and, screaming engines and all the fire engines and police departments are all traveling down that way. Oh my God almighty, the black smoke all over the place. I hope nobody, there's got to be somebody killed in it. Poor people that went to work.
Well, Tony, we don't have any confirmation from any officials of this happening. Just repeat again, you were just going outside.
I was bringing the garbage out to the freight entrance when we heard this roaring engine. We looked up and there was a plane. Next thing we know, in a matter of seconds, we heard a boom. We went to the corner and there it was right in the middle of the World Trade Center.
Where are you standing right now, Tony?
I'm right in the building right now.
Okay, and what do you see at this point?
Oh, people all staring up there, looking at it and all. Oh my God, the smoke is coming out. Black billow smoke.
Okay, you can see we are physically looking at one of our sky cams right now. We can see billowing smoke from the top of the World Trade Center, Tony.
Yeah.
Are there other people that are around you at this point? Is everybody in pretty much of a state of shock?
Oh, of course they are. People are all in shock. The people in the building are in shock going out. My God almighty, this is a real disaster. This is worse than the one that hit the Empire State Building back in 1939 or 38, whenever that was.
Tony, how long ago did you witness this happening?
Oh, come on, 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes to go?
That's about all.
You need to take a break.
The black smoke all over the place.
Take a break.
Make your
You need to take a break. Take a break, take a break. Take a break. Take a break.
And I looked up, and there's this plane. And then the next thing I hear in a few seconds was boom.
Tell me what you have to say. Tell me what you have to say. I listen to you all the time. Tell me what you have to say. I listen to you every time. Tell me what you have to say. I listen to you all the time. Tell me what you have to say. I listen to you every time. I listen to you every time.
They thought it was a 737 that went through the building.
But you, at this point, you cannot physically see any remnants of an airplane or anything such as that, can you not? Ed? Ed, are you still on the telephone with me?
I see the sun. I see the moon. I see the beauty in your eyes. I see the sun. I see the beauty in your eyes. I see the sun in your eyes. I see the sun. I see the moon. I see the beauty in your eyes. I see the sun in your eyes.
Most who saw and survived this day still had trouble believing what they saw. The phrase you heard over and over again was, "It seemed just like a movie." Like a movie.
I see the sun. In your eyes.
It was extraordinary. No
wings flew off, nothing like that. It just went directly in creating this sort of cavern-like hole. It reminds you of the worst kind of effects in movies that, you know, you're reassured watching a movie.
Industry, labor, science, and the military combined their efforts to build the first atomic bomb. But all are within man's power, subject to his command. On man's wisdom, on his firmness in the use of that power, depends now the future of his children and his children's children in the new world of the atomic age.
You're supposed to do. Julie, make up your own lies. Julie, do what you're supposed to do. Saying something strange, saying something true. I love saying something strange, saying something true. Julie, make up your own lies. Julie, do what you're supposed to do. Supposed to do. Supposed to do. Your own lies, Julie, do what you're supposed to do. Julie, make up your own lies, Julie, do what you're supposed to do. Supposed to do. Supposed to do. I love saying something strange, saying something true. I love saying something strange, saying something true. Make up your own lies. Julie, do what you're supposed to do. Supposed to do.
We looked up and there was a plane. Next thing you know, we heard boom. We ran up to the corner and hit right into the World Trade Center.
Tony,
Center.
can you tell us what kind of an airplane is it?
It had to be a 737 and had to hit the World Trade Center. It was a big, big plane.
You need to take a break.
Okay, and what do you see at this point?
Oh, smoke and screaming and, screaming engines and all the fire ants and police departments are all traveling down that way. Oh my God almighty, the black smoke all over the place. I hope nobody, there's got to be somebody killed in it. Both people that went to work.
Tony, we don't have any confirmation from any officials of this happening. Just repeat again, you were just going outside.
I was bringing the garbage out to the freight entrance when we heard this roaring engine. We looked up and there was the plane. Next thing we know, in a matter of seconds, we heard a boom. We went to the corner and there it was right in the middle of the World Trade Center.
Where are you standing right now, Tony?
I'm right in the building right now.
Okay, and what do you see at this point?
Oh, people all staring up there, looking at it and all. Oh my God, the smoke is coming out. Black billow smoke.
Okay, you can see we are physically looking at one of our sky cams right now. We can see billowing smoke from the top of the World Trade Center, Tony.
Yeah.
Are there other people that are around you at this point? Is everybody in pretty much of a state of shock?
Oh, of course they are. People are all in shock. The people in the building are in shock going out. My God almighty, this is a real disaster. This is worse than the one that hit the Empire State Building back in 1939 or 38, whenever that was.
Tony, how long ago did you witness this happening?
Oh, come on, 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago?
That's about all.
You need to take a break.
The black smoke all over the place.
Take a break. You need to take a break. Take a break, take a You need to take a break. Take a break, take a break.
I looked up and there's this plane. And then the next thing I hear in a few seconds was boom.
Tell me what you have to say. Tell me what you have to say. I listen to you all the time. Tell me what you have to say. I listen to you every time. Tell me what you have to say. I listen to you all the time. Tell me what you have to say. I listen to you every time. I listen to you every time.
They thought it was a 737 that went through the building.
But you, at this point, you cannot physically see any remnants of an airplane or anything such as that, can you not? Ed? Ed, are you still on the telephone with me?
I see the moon. I see the beauty in your eyes. I see the sun. I see the beauty in your eyes. I see the sun in your eyes. I see the sun.
He knew it was autumn again, because Torre came romping into the house, bringing the windy, crisp, cold smell of autumn with him. In every black curl of his dog hair, he carried autumn. Leaf flakes tangled in his dark ears and muzzle, dropping from his white vest and off his flourished tail. The dog smelled just like autumn. Martin Christie sat up in bed and reached down with one pale, small hand. Torre barked and displayed a generous length of pink, rippling tongue, which he passed over and along the back of Martin's hand. Torre warmed Martin's thin body with his dog warmness. Martin relished the clean dog smell and the litter of fallen leaves on the quilt. He didn't care if his mother scolded. "What's it like outside, Torre? Tell me." Lying there, Torre would tell him. Lying there, Martin would know what autumn was like in the old days before sickness had put him to bed. His only contact with autumn now was this brief chill, this leaf-flaked fur, the compact canine representation of summer gone, this autumn by proxy. And wherever Torre went, then Martin could go, because Torre could always tell him by the touch, feel, consistency, the wet, dry, or crispness of his coat. And lying there holding Torre, Martin would send his mind out to retrace each step of Torre's way, through fields, over the shallow glitter of the ravine creek, darting across the marble spread of the graveyard, into the wood, over the meadows, and where all the wild, laughing autumn sports went on. Martin could now go, through his emissary. His mother's voice sounded downstairs angrily. Her short, angry walking came up the hall steps. Martin pushed. "Down, Torre!" Torre vanished under the bed just before the bedroom door opened, and his mother looked in, blue eyes snapping. "That dog is more trouble, always upsetting things and digging places. He was in Miss Tarkin's garden this morning and dug a big hole. This is the third hole he's dug this week." "Maybe he's looking for something." "Something fiddlesticks. He's just a curious nuisance. He can't keep that black nose of his out of anything. Always curious." There was a hairy pizzicato of tail under the bed. His mother couldn't help smiling. "Well," she ended, "if he doesn't stop digging, I'll have to keep him in and not let him run." Martin opened his mouth wide. "Oh, no, Mum, don't do that. Then I wouldn't know anything. He tells me." His mother's voice softened. "Does he, son?" "Sure. He goes around and comes back and tells what happens, tells everything." His mother's hand was spun glass touching his head. "I'm glad he tells you, and I'm glad you got him." They both sat a moment considering how worthless the last year would have been without Torre. Only 2 more months, thought Martin, of being in bed, and like the doctor said, he'd be up and around. Martin locked a special collar attachment around Torre's neck. It was a note painted on a tin square. "My name is Torre. Will you visit my master who is sick? Follow me." Torre carried it out into the world every day. You could hear the dog yipping far down the street and away, going to fetch visitors. Yesterday, Torre had brought Mrs. Holloway from Elm Avenue with a storybook for a present. The day before, Torre had sat up and begged at Mr. Jacobs, the jeweler. Mr. Jacobs had bent and nearsightedly deciphered the tag message, and sure enough, had come shuffling and waddling to pay Martin a call. Now Martin heard the dog returning through the smoky afternoon, barking, running, barking again. Footsteps came lightly after the dog. Somebody rang the downstairs bell softly. His mother answered the door. Voices talked. Torry raced upstairs, leaped on the bed. Martin leaned forward excitedly, his face shining, to see who'd come upstairs this time. Maybe Miss Palmborg, or Mr. Ellis, or Miss Gendris, or... Visitor walked upstairs, talking to his mother. It was a young woman's voice, talking with a laugh in it. The door opened. Martin had company. 4 days passed in which Torry did his job, reported morning, afternoon, and evening temperatures, soil consistencies, leaf colors, rain levels, and most important of all, brought visitors. Miss Height again on Saturday. She was the young, laughing, handsome woman with gleaming brown hair and a soft way of talking. She lived in the big house on Park Street. It was her third visit in a month. On Sunday, it was the Reverend Volmar. On Monday, Miss Clark and Mr. Hendricks. And to each of them, Martin explained his dog. How in spring he was odorous of wild flowers and fresh earth. In summer he was baked warm, sun-crisp. In autumn now, a treasure trove of gold leaves hidden in his pelt for Martin to explore out. Then one morning, his mother told Martin about Miss Height, the one who was so handsome and young, and laughed. She was dead, killed in a motoring accident in Glen Falls. Martin held onto his dog, remembering Miss Height, thinking of the way she smiled, thinking of her bright eyes, her closely cropped chestnut hair, her slim body, her quick walk, her nice stories about seasons and people. So now she was dead. She wasn't going to laugh or tell stories anymore. That's all there was to it. She was dead. What do they do in the graveyard, Mum? Under the ground? Nothing. Well, you mean they just lie there? Yes, said his mother. That's all they do. Why don't they get up and walk around once in a while, if they get tired of lying there? I think you've said enough now. Sometimes I think God's pretty silly. Martin! Martin scowled. Well, you'd think he'd find a better way. What if I told Torry to play dead dog? He does it a while, but then he gets sick of it and wags his tail or blinks his eyes and walks around. I'll bet those graveyard people do the same, eh, Torry? Torry barked. That will do, his mother said. I don't like such talk. In mid-October, Torry began to act strangely. He couldn't seem to find anyone to come to visit Martin. Nobody seemed to pay any attention to his begging. He came home 7 days in a row without bringing a visitor. Martin was deeply despondent over it. His mother explained it. Well, everybody's busy. People have lots to worry over besides little begging dogs. Martin said. I guess so. But there was more to it than that. Torry had a funny gleam in his eyes, as if he wasn't really trying or didn't care or something. Something Martin couldn't figure out. Maybe Torry was sick. Well, to heck with visitors. As long as he had Torry, everything was fine. And then one day, Torry ran out and didn't come back at all. Martin waited, quietly at first, then nervously, then anxiously. At supper time, he heard Mum and Dad call Torry. Nothing happened. There was no use. There was no sound of paws along the path outside the house, no sharp barking in the cold night air. Nothing. Torry was gone. Torry wasn't coming home, ever. Sobbing, Martin turned his face to his pillow. There was no contact with the world. The world was dead. Martin stared at the ceiling for the first 3 days of November, watching alternate light and dark shift across it. Days got shorter, darker. He could tell by the window. The trees were naked. The autumn wind changed its tempo and temperature. It was just a pageant outside his window, nothing more. He couldn't get at it. He listened each day, but he didn't hear the sounds he wanted to hear. Friday night came. His parents were going to the theater. They'd be back at 11. His mum and dad kissed him goodnight and walked out of the house into the autumn. He heard their footsteps go down the street. Silence then. Martin just lay there and watched the stars moving slowly across the sky. If only Torry would come home, bringing some of the world with him. A bird or a rhymed thistle or the wind in his... If only Torry would come home. And then way off somewhere, there was a sound. It was so small, it was like a needlepoint moving through the air, miles and miles away. It was the sound of a dog coming across meadows and fields, down dark streets. The sound of a dog running and letting his breath out to the night. The sound of a dog circling and running. It came and went. It lifted and faded. It came forward and went back as if it was being led by someone on a chain. The faint barking continued for 5 minutes, growing louder and louder. Torry, come home. Torry, come home. Torry, boy. Oh, Torry, where have you been? Oh, Torry, Torry. Nearer now. Very near. Just up the street. Barking. Torry. Martin held his breath. The sound of dog feet and the pile of dry leaves down the path. And now, right outside the house, barking, barking, barking. Torry. Barking to the door. Martin shivered. The door opened downstairs. Someone was kind enough to have opened the door for Torry. Torry had brought a visitor, of course. Mr. Buchanan, or Mr. Jacobs, or perhaps Miss Tarkins. The door opened and closed, and Torry came racing upstairs and flung himself yipping on the bed. Torry, where have you been? What have you done all this week? Martin laughed and cried all in one. He grabbed the dog and he held him to him. Then he stopped laughing and crying, suddenly. He just stared at Torry with wide, strange eyes. The odor arising from Torry was different. It was a smell of earth. Dead earth. Earth that had lain cheek by jowl with unhealthy, decaying things 6 feet under. Stinking, stinking, rancid earth. Clods of decaying earth fell off Torry's paws. And something else. A small, withered fragment of skin. Was it? Was it? Was it? What kind of message was this from Torry? What did such a message mean? The stench, the ripe, awful cemetery earth. Torry was a bad dog, always digging where he shouldn't dig. Oh, Torry was a good dog, always making friends so easily. Torry took to liking everybody. He brought them home with him. And now this latest visitor was coming up the stairs, slowly, dragging one foot after the other, painfully, slowly, slowly, slowly. Torry, Torry, where have you been? A clod of rank, crawling soil dropped from the dog's chest. The door to the bedroom moved inwards. Martin had company.
I see them all. I see the beauty in your eyes. I see the sun in your eyes.
Most who saw and survived this day still had trouble believing what they saw. The phrase you heard over and over again was, "It seemed just like a movie." Like a movie.
I see the sun. In your eyes.
It was extraordinary. No wings flew off, nothing like that. It just went directly in creating this sort of cavern-like hole. It reminds you of the worst kind of effect in movies that, you know, you're reassured watching a movie that it's an effect, but this is not.
Well, Mark, you and I are supposed to have a meeting not long from now. We'd prefer you to go and work the story if you would and call us back as soon
I
as
will
you can.
indeed.
Many thanks. Mark Openhouse, one of our senior producers on the phone who saw the incident, described it as a large...
Can you hear me saying this good? Because the microphone is off
There's been a light plane go into the tower. Oh my God, you know, and we looked up at it. I said to my daughter, I said, she had her camera, and I said, take a photo of it, 'cause you're never going to see, you know, that again. We're never going to experience that again.
Quick, take a selfie.
It almost like the plane probably went through. I'm not sure.
Winston, can you see? Are you on the north side there where the plane made contact?
Yes, I am.
There where the plane made contact? The plane.
I see the light over me. Take a ride, see the sun. The light goes around. The veil see the sun. Everyone has got to come. Everyone has got to come.
I take it where you are is just about picture perfect. Picture perfect, yes. It's very clear outside.
Everyone has got to come. I see the light over me. Take a ride. See the sun. The light goes round, round. The veil see the sun. Everyone has got to come. Everyone has got to come. I see the light over me. Take a ride. I see the sun.
I can only describe as it sounded like a missile, not an airplane. Then there was a loud explosion and immediately lots of screaming out on the streets. And I don't want to cause any speculation, but that's the only way I could describe the sound.
There it is. The plane went right through the other tower of the World Trade Center.
That is a very hard thing to watch.
On what we just saw, though, obviously, if that indeed was a second aircraft that hit the southern tower of the World Trade Center, that obviously raises the specter of an intentional terrorist attack.
Some of the key suspects come to mind: Osama bin Laden. Who knows what?
Please don't ask me to explain. Please. Don't ask me. Please don't ask me to explain. I'm doing all that I have to survive space. Please don't ask me. To explain. Don't ask me to explain.
A very large plane just flew directly over my building, and there's been another collision. Can you see it? I can see it on the shot.
Here comes the videotape that we just showed you. You will see what appears to be a large plane. It could be a 727 right there, maybe even bigger, flying right into the side of the World Trade Center.
Holy fuck!
Tell us what you saw, if you would.
I was waiting at a table and I literally saw it seemed to be like a small plane. I just heard a couple noises. It looked like it bounced off the building, and then I just saw a huge ball of fire on top.
I had no idea it was a plane. I just saw the entire top part of the World Trade Center explode. So I turned on the TV when I heard they said it was a plane. It was really strange.
It's life goes by. I never hurry. I never worry. I'm in no hurry to die. As life goes by, I never hurry, I never worry. I'm in no hurry to die. As life goes by. As long as life goes by, I never hurry, I never worry. I'm in no hurry to die.
When I looked over, there was this guy that was on fire, so I just kind of like ran over and I tried to like put the fire out on him, and he was like screaming, and I just told him to roll, and he said he can't.
He caught fire as a result of the falling debris?
Yeah.
As life goes by, I never hurry, I never worry. As life As life goes by, I never hurry, I never worry. I'm in a hurry to die.
Good evening, everyone. Good morning, actually. We have breaking news. This out of downtown Manhattan. A plane has allegedly crashed into the World Trade Center. You're looking at live pictures right now from News Chopper 7. At 8:51, that is the time right now, just a few moments ago, allegedly a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center. Very little known. We are taking live pictures. You're looking at it. You're looking at it.
And the writings on the wall. When the writing's on the wall, you draw a line across your mind. When the writing's on the wall, you check around to see if I'm still around. When the writing's on the wall, you see the world spinning round.
For tonight, I pray. For tonight, I pray. The writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall. The writing's on the wall. No, oh no, oh Jah, no, no, oh no.
You're looking at it.
The writing's on the wall.
And
unfortunately, here in New York, many of our stations cannot see this, local stations, because the antennas are on the World Trade Center. They're backup towers on the Empire State Building, but communication, television communication in New York City is probably pretty much knocked off the air. Knocked off the air.
Obviously,
suicide terrorist attack on the
Absolutely.
World Trade Center.